we do. Yay! All right, so nobody knows I'm going to do this. So, to start off with, I need everybody to roll 2d6s.
2d6?
And tell me what the individual numbers
3
are, including
and 6.
including David. Oh, I gotta write this down. Where do I have it?
Okay. 12.
2d6?
No, individually.
individuals.
He needs
6
them
and 6
individually.
then, because that's the only way you get to 12.
Oh, that's true.
5 and 4.
Sadie, what was yours? Sadie, was
3
yours
and
again?
6.
3 and 6. Roll one more time.
I'm assuming it's the 6 that needs replaced. 3.
Sure. Yeah, 3 and 3. Okay. Okay, that'll work. What'd you get, Chris?
5 and 4.
5 and 4. Okay, Heidi.
6 and 4.
6 and 4. Okay, reroll your 4 and your 6. Sorry.
What was that?
Oh, Shara arriving.
6 and 3.
Shara!
Are you here, Shara?
6 and
Are you muted? I don't know. I'm not looking at Discord.
Reroll your
There you
6.
Hi,
Hello?
Shara.
My speaker is
4.
coming out. My sound coming out of the wrong thing.
Okay, let's see what Shara gave me. Oh, Shara gave me 4 and 2 as well.
What?
I'm having everybody roll.
But someone else
So you
rolled
gave me
the same
4 and
roll?
2. Well, it was after Heidi's been rolling all kinds of stuff. She's been like 6s and 3s and everything everybody else has.
Can you roll again?
Yeah.
4. And try it again.
Yeah.
And another 4.
I'm looking for 1 or 2. Well, I guess, yeah.
And another 4. And a 2.
2, that works. Okay. Okay, and then 1 more. I'm looking for a 1 or a 5. Or you can just pick 1 or 5.
1.
1? Perfect. Okay. Sorry. I'm at the point right now in my one shot that I'm like freaking out every day about what I want to do. And this will help me narrow down which direction I go with everything that I'm doing.
Oh, dang.
I don't know how I could be more vague than that, but I would sure try. Okay.
Whew, pardon me.
So, okay, cool. So
Are you
Shara's a
ready
4
to
and
join us,
2.
Shara? Are you okay?
Yeah. I think just a little extra rest before. I wasn't ready and up for it at 7, but just take in
Oh, gotcha.
some chill time. Watch a little Lord of the Rings.
Ooh.
I'm pumped.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's
we are
still
just about to start, so you've missed nothing.
It was good timing. Yeah, I just barely had everybody rolling, so.
awesome.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
2. Yeah, I can definitely work with that. Man, David in the double 6, man, that is ridiculous. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad, but
Right?
I might have to tweak it a little bit. We'll see.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's one of those where I kind of planned on 5, so I made. Anyway, I can't tell all the things. I made 6 characters. I'm like, haha! It's easier to divvy out a 6 character. Roll a d6 and then tell me instead of 1 through 5, it's 1 through 6. So
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see how everything lines up. That'll be fun. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have an intro, so we're just going to pick up pretty much where we left off. You were in Kadrazat's sanctuary, speaking to Garen, the
Yeah.
recently appointed commander of the City Watch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What?
And,
He's awesome.
He had been telling you some different things that have been going on in the city. More talking to Kadrazat at first, but he kind of warmed up to you guys. And, let's see, he had mentioned that one of his men had arrested a Frederick Gaultier on suspicion of a plot to murder Shaylin Avenda, the peculiar candidate for minister.
Oh. I'm so far out of politics that I have no idea what's going on, so it makes no sense to me, but hopefully it does to somebody else.
There were other things I think he was going to mention here if I could find them, but... I can't remember if he mentioned that there had been some attacks near some of the slums where goblins live. There aren't a lot of goblins in the city, but there are a few that mostly are not trusted, and they live in slums in the darker parts of the city for the most part, and people are getting edgy around one under the East Arch because there have been some attacks happening, some vicious attacks around one of the slums, and people are suspecting that the goblins have something to do with it.
I vote for that one. I'm just kidding. It's not politics. I don't care.
Sounds like my hammer.
Yeah. And
I'm just at the bar, just casually, just taking a sip, listening.
yeah. Yeah, Garen just kind of continues talking to Kadrazat about the stuff that has been going on in the city, and then he sets down his drink and he says, "Well, unfortunately, I'm afraid that I'm not just here for a drink, Kadrazat. I'm afraid that I have some ill news. You remember Eldon Brigley?" And Kadrazat nods and says, "Yes, Eldon's a friend. He comes in each time he visits. Has something happened?" And Garen kind of just sighs and says, well, sorry to tell you that Eldon Brigley is dead. His caravan never made it back into the city. Didn't even make it as far as Morley.
Were those guys that we met?
Yeah, were they the caravan that we saw?
They were, yes.
Oh no!
So he had buyers in town. They didn't hear from him for a couple of days. Sent someone to look for him, make sure everything was all right. They found his caravan torn apart on the road. Bodies of him and those traveling with him lying on the ground. Pretty poor shape. While they were trying to determine just what happened, they were attacked by a pride of displacer beasts.
A what?
All but one of them were killed as well, and that one fled to the nearest town. He bought some passing adventurers to go back with him, kill the beasts. And Kadrazat looks very sad and says, "That's awful. Eldon's business was just beginning to gain momentum. It's odd, though. Wild displacer beasts you do find them on the material, but they don't usually hunt in the Boundlands. There's nowhere for them to come in the Boundlands. They're not native here. They haven't shown up here."
Do I know much about displacer beasts?
Make either a nature or Arcana check.
Which I think I have a +4 in both of those. Let me look.
I know they're creepy. About it.
Nature, you said, was the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a +4 in both of those, so. Oh, that's. Oh. I'm pretty sure this counts as cocked, but I really want to use that roll.
Natural 20.
You are totally silent.
You cut out. still.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Mm-mm.
It just stopped suddenly.
Oh, I need to put on elevator music again.
One job.
I do this.
There we go.
That won't record.
Oh, that's right, because it's on Discord.
Yeah.
Oh, record Discord?
Well, she's got audio coming through the Facebook call right now.
It's their Facebook.
I'm not on
gotcha.
Facebook, and I can still hear through somebody's.
Yeah, you're...
Well, no, it's just putting sound
They're on
through.
Chris's side. Hold on.
Gone through.
Discord on your phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say Discord on the phone works really well.
Technical difficulties.
Well, that's
Okay,
good. I just mouse wanted.
Sort of.
Ooh, that was really loud. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So let me show you what happened. Because it got caught in between my notebook and my laptop when I went to roll it.
Just for the sake of speed, we'll allow it this time, but...
Okay, it's a natural 20. I got 24.
Okay. Yeah, you know that displacer beasts are... They're very dangerous. They're kind of like Black Panthers with tentacles, and they're dangerous to fight because they essentially always appear to be somewhere a little bit away from where they actually are. They project illusions, and you know that they are native to the Feywild. They have
That's what I wondered.
They have crossed over into the prime material in a number of places, but the Boundlands are definitely not one of those places, for whatever reason. And Kajazat says, none of them had the chance to cross over to the Boundlands before the ways were closed, after the Abolition War.
Could it be that someone's reopened a way?
It's possible, but unlikely. The reasons for the ways being closed are only known to the Archfey. The Archfey of the various courts of the Feywild made agreements with the leadership of the Boundlands that date back to the end of the Abolition War that the ways would remain closed. The Fey do not break their deals. Not. And when I say they don't break their deals, I mean they can't break deals. Anathema to the Fey.
Interesting.
There are few who live by or are bound by such restrictions.
Yes, the Fae are deeply honor-bound, perhaps on a level inherent to them. If they were to break a deal, they would cease to be. It won't stop them from trying to find every loophole they possibly can. Was Mouse going to do something there?
She wanted to ask, like, about the senator, or the guy who's being elected. Like, why people hate him.
Oh, Avenda? Garen
Yeah.
Garen says, the Peculiars aren't the most popular party in Gate at the best of times. The city is operated largely by the workers, and the Peculiars are opposed to the workers' unions, among other things, and so they're seldom as popular as the Framers. Avenda himself is especially unpopular. He's an unpleasant person. There's suspicion of shady dealings, but we've had no significant enough reason to actually investigate him to find out whether there's anything to those rumors. Especially not during
So,
the
like,
election cycle, when it would be seen as preferred treatment to the Framers if we were to investigate the peculiar candidate right now.
So like lots of people would want him dead. Like anybody who.
Absolutely, he's not well liked politically. He's not well liked politically. He is not well liked personally. He is he deals in spices, perfumes, luxury goods, that sort of thing. And he is rather cutthroat in his business dealings. He has pushed out a number of smaller local producers with the imports that he brings in from other areas. He's not popular around here.
Charming.
Honestly,
Have there been multiple attempts to pull him out of the running, or
we provide a guard to any candidates that are running in the lead up to an election, and this is the first time we've intercepted anyone actually making any kind of an attempt. Honestly, it's beyond me why the Peculiars chose him. He's not the most likely candidate. They have more likable choices.
so it's happened before? This is just the first time that they've actually like been able to catch the guy.
It's possible, but as far as we know, he's been safe up to now.
So what happens now?
Well, we have to see if we can get information out of this Gaultier fellow. Find out who has been paying him or why he wanted to do this, if he was acting of his own accord. Find out, just get to the bottom of the matter. And it's very likely that he will be given, at the very least, a significant sentence. If the crimes appear to be bad enough, he may in fact be put to death.
I feel a prison break coming on. That's me, not Tamati. That is not in character. Don't even think about it.
We haven't gotten anything out of him so far. He won't say a word.
I'm just stroking my beard because it's an inch long. I'm enjoying it.
Cool. I think that's all I want to know.
And, let's see. I was going to mention that a couple of you would probably know. I already talked a bit to Sadie about this, but one of the more famous individuals in the city is a man named Gavin, who usually appears as a human with bright blue hair somewhere in his 40s, but is widely known to, in fact, be a very, very old blue dragon. He's a political figure in the city. He has been elected to the High Council a total of 136 times, and there isn't a bookie in the city that would take money against this year marking his 137th term as a member of the High Council. He's very well liked, and I imagine Zafine would probably have had some interactions with him because he is he's regarded for his wisdom and restraint, and so he
Look at us,
might
Sabine. We know all the same people.
Yeah, hometown, man.
yeah, he might even be someone that you may have consulted during your time as a diplomat because he's known for his wisdom, and so.
Cool.
He's not present at the moment, but I figured that I'd already mentioned that Sadie has run into him, and that I had not actually sent you a message to say that you would know him. So.
Okay, good. Excellent.
Who's the baddie in our one shot? It wasn't Gavin, was it?
No, it was
Okay.
a Wilden by the name of Saloran.
That's what it was. Okay.
Who
I was like, I know.
Who ended up
sounds
not
familiar.
being a baddie in the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd done some bad stuff, but upon recognizing that he'd kind of been used, he turned himself in, and Garen pretty much said they'd probably go easy on him. He may or may not still have, ended up with some kind of prison sentence just for the things he had done.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Sounds like something Garen would do. Correct me. Sorry.
So,
What's that?
does Rin have two names?
No, well, Rin is a children's name. It's an elven children's name that she's kind of grown up with, but her name is Ilar Renee. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's a nickname.
Yeah.
I was like so confused.
Yeah, no.
Who was the person in the letter? Like,
Yeah.
Who are they talking to?
yeah.
No, yeah. Ilarne is like the human name that her mom gave her, but she did it with the idea that she would call her Rin, which is an elven children's name.
Mm, cool.
Kind of, because
Interesting.
my mom, growing up, it was always like honor the heritage, but like not like the bloodline, I guess, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah.
So I was kind of always raised to acknowledge my elven heritage, but the actual people that I got my heritage from were just people. They weren't anything to me, kind of thing. Yeah. So.
Real nice.
Well, you knew my dad.
I'm talking. Sure.
So, Tamati, have you been just kind of doing your own thing during all this, since you're...
Yeah, pretty much. I don't recognize a whole lot of the names. Every once in a while, I catch a glimpse, but I'm like, is it the same person? Well,
Yeah.
mostly I'm just kind of drinking, just eavesdropping type of thing.
Okay.
So
Make a perception check.
I'm gonna use my new D20 metal die.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Trade. Out of the gate.
Harsh.
Let's see. I rolled a 3 and I forgot my character sheet. I believe that gives me a perception. Oh, that's not bad. 7. Not as good as I was hoping.
Yeah, you kind of hear some of this conversation, but you actually find yourself getting slightly distracted by a conversation at a nearby table where there are a couple of men that are sitting there talking, and they're kind of talking under their breath, but you kind of lean in, and you overhear one of them say, it's like, hey, you have family in Kaidan, right? And the other one says, yeah. What about it? You hear about that ghost shit that rolled into port a couple weeks back? It's like, what are you talking about? It's been It's been everywhere, man. Supposedly there was this ship called the Saranza. They assumed it was lost at sea. Been missing for a few months. It didn't come back from its trade route. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just sails back into port, completely empty, except for one living sailor. Tried to talk to the man. His mind was totally gone. Didn't understand a word he was saying. He couldn't understand a word they were saying. It's like, fairy tales. So, like if ships get delayed all the time, and it's probably just a story to scare people.
Totally leading into that conversation. So you say it's. I'm like. So you say it's a ghost ship?
Yeah, the one who was talking. Yeah, the one who
Sorry,
was
don't mean to.
telling the story is like, that's what they call it. It went missing, came back with none of the crew alive, except none of the crew on it, except the one man. The rest of the ship was completely empty, no sign of what had happened to the others. People speculated, oh, maybe that one guy went crazy, killed a few of them, but there's no blood anywhere on the ship. There's no sign of any struggles. The rest of the crew is just gone, and the other guy is just...
I've slid out a chair and I'm sitting down just listening intently.
The other guy who doesn't seem to believe this as much, just like, don't believe him. He's credulous. He'll believe any rumor that comes to his ears. He's like, no, this one's legit. I'm honest. I mean it.
Can I tell how drunk he is?
Yeah, make an insight check.
Ooh, that's better. Inside is not so great. 14.
Yeah, you'd
Plus 1 to my clue.
you don't imagine he's very drunk because this guy came in not long after you guys did, and you're pretty sure that only 1 or 2 drinks have been delivered to this table. And he doesn't seem drunk. He does seem excited about all this, and the other guy's just kind of rolling his eyes.
Sure, yeah. Excellent. Like, and you say it came into Kaidan, right?
Right, port in Kaidan.
How far away is Kaidan from here?
Kaidan is... It's a little...
Quite a ways to the
Should pull up
south.
my map.
Yeah, it's
Is it? Oh, yeah, sorry.
it's on
Yeah,
the other
I get
side
it.
of Devera from Gate, basically. Kaidan
Which,
is...
if we're passing through to Kaidan, we can stop in at Vale's Peak.
Yay.
Yay! I can go
Yeah,
home for a
Kaidan-
minute.
Doshi.
Kaidan is probably the most famous city in the world. It's one of the largest cities anywhere. It is incredibly diverse. It's the other city-state in Sereta because Gate is pretty much self-sufficient, as is Kaidan.
Mhm.
Most of the trade that comes through internationally either goes through Keldkavar or Kaidan. And
Gotcha. So did they say what the sailor's name was? The last sailor? Did he ever give his name?
they couldn't understand a word he said. So far, no one's been able to identify him. They've been searching for family.
You're not there.
I am there. I'm just up. Daniel,
It's my new favorite
You're
phrase.
not
anyway.
there.
Probably.
Do you, Tamati, do you know that I can read everything? Is that something that you know or no?
I mean, I think you flaunted it a couple times. But I don't know if I've really paid a whole lot of attention. Like, it wouldn't be the first thing that springs to mind.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, she reads a lot of things. So,
Always
maybe
reading.
more along
Read
those
a
lines rather
lot.
than she can read everything. It's like, yeah. So
Okay, sorry, continue.
interesting.
And I say they've been looking for some kind of family or friends, people who knew him. No luck so far in Kaidan. It seems like he's not a local. He must have signed on to the ship from elsewhere.
It's interesting.
It's my favorite. Can't say it.
No. I have a bad feeling that that maybe I know who it is. Maybe.
Stevie Jones. Okay.
It's Cthulhu. Oh
Can you involve?
Yeah.
Oh, I know who you think it is.
yeah.
Yeah. I think.
Ah, that would be.
No, it's not Captain Jack Sparrow.
Mm, Shucks.
I'm gonna order a round of drinks. I'm like, hey,
I bet you know. I bet you're
how's
picking
that?
up what I'm putting down, Shara.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm out.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll haul over Kajazat. Kajazat, another round over here. And yeah,
Yeah, Kajazat quickly brings you another drink and brings drinks for the men at the table with you as well.
excellent.
And you see a little, what kind of looks like a tiny pot-bellied dragon just slowly sidling up to the table and giving you these puppy dog eyes.
Oh.
Oh.
Like a pseudo dragon.
No, bigger than a pseudo dragon, and like very, very fat, kind of like just
It's
sort of
a dragon puppy.
Yeah.
And Kajazat like, looks down and is like, Roy, go mooch off the other customers, please. Roy looks up at him and is just like, you just brought them around. You could bring me around. Someone will buy you a drink, I'm sure, but leave me alone.
I'm like half paying attention, like, I'm like, go ahead, I'll pay for it. Go ahead.
You know, Roy like grins up, this just sort of like smug grin.
Yeah.
Kajazat rolls his eyes. Fine. Well, you've bought yourself a friend for the night.
You never have too many friends.
And he brings over a glass that the little creature quickly downs. Like, it's a pretty big tankard of beer. Just downs it like a shot, basically.
Whoa.
Holy cow!
I want to do that.
Yeah, take it easy on that one. I can do that. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's what I did with the red dragon. That's not a good idea.
Roy looks up at you and is like, that's refreshing. Any more where that came from?
Maybe. Have you heard any stories about this ghost ship?
I hear a lot of things. Maybe. Might have heard something. It could. I don't know. I can't quite remember.
I see how it is. You're one of those types. Cow. For a breadcrumb. That's all I'm looking for, a breadcrumb. Yeah. Fine, one more. That's it.
And Kajazat
Because I'm intrigued.
Kajazat brings over another drink and just kind of gives you a look that's like, I warned you.
I put my hand on this one and I go, slowly.
And Roy, just like, I know, it's fine. I promise. And he takes it and immediately knocks it back. And then,
All right, that's 2 drinks. Now you gotta get some information.
yeah. From what I hear, the guy was, nobody knows who he is, but he was human, maybe early 40s or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel better.
Yeah.
They took him to have some people at the academy look at him, the magic university in Kaidan. And even their language experts there couldn't nail down what language he was speaking. They said it had some roots in common with primordial, but couldn't pin it down.
Weird. Very interesting.
That's unfortunately as much as I've heard, no matter how much beer you buy me.
Well, that's good to know. At least you're sucking me out another drink.
But if you have any other questions, Roy's always thirsty.
I'll definitely keep that in mind. Yeah, it sounds like you've got your fingers on the pulse of the city here. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind. Good old Roy. Sweet. So I'm just gonna sit here and talk about these guys.
Okay.
So
As you're speaking to them, the one skeptic who still doesn't really buy any of this is just continuing to drink quietly and roll his eyes as the conversation goes on. But
I'm gonna be like, what's it called? Conspiracy theorying, like everything. Like, what do you think it is? Where do you think it came from? What could it have been? What could have happened? You know, just going crazy.
yeah.
Because apparently I love ships. So, especially ghost ships.
Yeah. All right.
Mouse is gonna wait for a good point to kind of pull in and just to the side. I don't know exactly when that
Me?
is, but
Did you say me too? Okay.
Yeah. Because she's not exactly sure who to trust,
Sure.
and
Okay. Before that happens, Decius, Garen, I'll be right back. I want to talk with Wolf. Then I go with.
Oh,
No.
Okay.
yeah. Because Timothy seemed a little bit too friendly for one reason or another with the other guy.
Yeah.
And
Just don't trust that school. I've been the most trustworthy one of the entire campaign. All secrets out there, but that's okay.
And Scar's character
Totally
seems very morally on the straight path, so
Jailbreak.
Yeah, if you only knew my character. But you would if you asked me questions, but that's okay. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm interrupting. I'm not there.
So- yeah. So I think Mouse would just be like, so that guy, Frederick, is actually my best friend growing up, best forever. And yeah, so we need him out. So So last thing I knew, he was, a really bad thief guy. So he probably did it, or at least tried to. But I still want him to die. So
He probably did it. Man, I wish I was there.
kind of he's just going down a dark path right now. But you never know. He might become better in the future. I don't want to cut him short. So yeah.
I can fix him.
You cannot change him. That man is 11. There's a joke in there.
We need to get some information about so we can break him out. So I have some ideas,
Well,
but I'd love to hear your ideas.
I've never broke anyone out of jail before. That's not usually my scene. but I can relate, so I'll try and help.
Yeah.
I am very
I usually
nervous.
don't
I'm like
break
nervous
rules
and giggling.
But Frederick is my specialty.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I'll try to help. We're all gonna end up in jail.
Again.
I get to go home, and then I'm gonna go to prison.
So
Good news, bad news. You're in jail.
You're home. In jail.
So I feel like we need to find out more information about where he's being held in order to get him out. So, I mean, some ideas is like, because don't I have that thing where you can like write letters?
Yes.
And like,
Yes.
so I could be doing that and see, and try to have Mouse deliver them so that, or Nip deliver them, so that he could try like
Oh yeah.
show him the letter, and then he could reply back to Nip, which I could hear. That may or may not go very well. Or I could do disguise self, you know, dress up as his mom, who I know, you know, grew up together, and then just go in there and be like, "My son, what happened?" I don't like the information that way, and like, you know, see if I can see you in person.
Yeah.
Just want to say I love the plan, even though I'm dead.
Oh.
Yeah, I was picturing myself like, and I'd be like, "Wow, this place is so dirty. I must be a mouse."
You could do something for Darren, and then we could get like a favor in return.
No.
I was kind of, maybe there's not such a criminally way that we can. I would do.
Yeah, if he's like innocent, then yeah, but he's probably guilty. So
It's probably guilty.
Well, on the other hand, maybe you could offer to maybe go talk to him and see if you can get information out of him. And then,
because then if he disappears out of jail, then they'll know who to look to.
Yeah.
I want so much to be pitched in, but I was left in the dark.
Right? This is killing me over here. How are you gonna pull out a jailbreak and I'm not involved?
Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak.
Oh man.
I'm so conflicted by this. Cause I'm like, it makes me nervous to like, let's break him out of jail. But on the other hand, if it were Taliesin, I would want to break him out of jail. So I get it. So
I just want to break people out of jail just for the principle.
I feel like we can trust the Monty.
I'm not here.
we may
We'll talk
no,
about
just-
ghost ships,
just-
man.
we may want
Just
to include the others on this.
But Vivian, I don't know. She seems very straight arrow, don't you think?
Well,
She might not want to break me out of jail
but,
because I like
but on
it.
the other hand, she might have a more diplomatic approach to getting him out. That way, we get him out without ending up there ourselves.
Yeah, well, I just need it so that if he mysteriously disappears out of jail, that I don't get caught. So
Yeah.
if someone in our team would make it so I got caught, then that wouldn't be good.
I got one drink
I
poison that go to sleep.
don't know. I feel like
I feel like this would be perfect in 3 levels.
Stark says this is real good.
Well, we could try and get a guard like outfit.
Yeah, I mean, we could include the others.
I feel
But
like
if I go to jail, I'd blame.
I feel like it would be a
I
good
mean-
idea to include the others.
Let's cover our bases. But
Plus, they might have ideas that we don't on how to accomplish it.
plus, we could use distractions.
That's true. Mati's a big guy.
I mean, I don't know, like Zafine has some sway in the city. Maybe she could just say that she wants to talk to him to represent him or something, and like get us in or something. Or
Yeah, we don't
We can just
we
do
don't
like
have to jump straight to jailbreak. I understand the impulse, though. I do.
it's just hard because we. I kind of want to work with Garen. I want to find out more about this Underdark thing.
Yeah, I feel like if we try to if we just mysteriously disappeared out of jail, then we could still preserve our relationship with
Sure.
people, and then also because he's done other bad things in the past, if they were to find out,
Sure.
so.
Was he in a thieves guild? Because I mean, if he was, would I know if you were in a thieves guild or not?
I don't think she would have, been
What- what-
guys.
Well, he spoke thieves. We need to go to the bottom.
Well, I think maybe what we should do is we should talk with Zafine and Tamati
Find out what jail it is
and find out where the jail is. That's a good idea.
and how big it is. How many guards? Just a lot of things to do for jailbreaks.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
If I'm going to jail, I at
It's-
least want to see my uncle first.
it's on the list.
Okay.
It's very high on the list. We'll figure this out, but we have to do this smart. Okay.
Do I notice? Do I notice they're standing in the corner talking?
Make a perception check.
I want to see how I react after I notice. Nope. Okay. I'm drunk talking about ghost ships. I see nothing.
And I've been working on a letter to send off to my parents' last known location. So I've been
Okay.
absorbed with that while they've been cavorting.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll figure this out.
So I just can't get over the fact that it's a ghost ship. There's only one person. How did he dock the ghost ship whenever he's the only person on there? I mean, really? That's. I don't know much about boats, but that seems kind of hard to do. Ships.
And the guy says, "That's the thing. As far as we can tell, he wasn't steering the ship. The ship was steering itself. It just came into port, and it just sailed right in. They
ridiculous.
found him sitting below decks somewhere."
Okay.
And the other, the skeptical guy at this point is just kind of I give up. He's just been drinking quietly and kind of just every few minutes, really.
I'm gonna go to Kajazat and it has been a pleasure to meet you.
It's been a pleasure to meet you as well.
Do we have a place to stay for the night, guys?
You have.
Kajazat?
You are always welcome here.
Yeah.
There's-
Could we get a couple
Yeah.
of rooms? 'Cause
We were over at
it seems like the town's really busy with
yeah,
elections.
we were over
so.
at Jinzo's loft,
Jinso's loft.
but
Ah, Lillian's place.
yeah. She's a great lady.
She is.
Lillian.
For friends of the sanctuary, which you are, thanks to the truly kingly gift you have brought to me. There is always room at the sanctuary for you.
That would be excellent.
And he reaches into a pocket and he pulls out a few, like, you didn't even notice this pocket on his kimono before, but he has some pockets.
Oh, he's got a kimono on? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mentioned that last time, I think, but
I didn't even notice, but
I didn't catch that either. That's awesome.
Listen to it. I don't know how I missed it, but
yeah. But yeah, he has a few pretty well concealed pockets, and he reaches into them and he pulls out a few small coins that are of some kind of dark metal that is kind of a dark gray. That you can't quite tell what sort of metal it is, but they have the emblem of the sanctuary on it, which is just like a simple design that is like a star with wings.
Cool.
And, he hands you these coins and he says, like, hands each of you a coin. And he says, if you take these coins upstairs, you will find your quarters there.
Quarters. Sorry.
He says, these are yours to keep.
Ooh.
Sweet.
Cool. So we put them.
Inventories. Just Kajazat's sanctuary rune coins.
Room coin or rune coin?
Room coins.
Okay. Oh, let's do this in the marker.
Sweet.
Where's my inventory? There it is. I don't know how to spell
There's only one person who knows that. AWESOME.
Exactly. Ah.
Oh, I did an I instead of an A. Otherwise, that was perfect.
Nice.
So close.
Would I know where the nearest courier station is from here?
Yeah, you would. You'd be able to find it pretty quickly. It's not far.
Okay.
Well-
I'm going to go drop something off real quick. I'll be right back. I go to do that.
Zafine,
Yes.
do you want to come with me to see my relative that's here in town? Was that what
Yes.
you said earlier? Okay.
I would love to do that. I have to
Okay.
drop this off and get it going.
Okay, I'll wait till you get back then.
Okay. I quick step this over to the couriers, and I put a haste bonus into the assignment because I want it to get to the last place that my parents were as quick as possible to try and get on their trail.
Okay.
While she's away, I'm gonna write a letter to Bronwyn.
Okay.
Just kind of like, I just recently found out a friend of mine is missing. I haven't seen him since I was 10, so I don't have much to go on in way of description. But he has blonde hair and brown eyes, and I do the best I can to just give like a general description, name,
Yeah.
and just like if you could keep your eyes and ears open for him, let me know if you hear anything. It'd be appreciated, and I include 20 gold with it.
Okay.
So, and I kind of just like set it up while I wait for her.
All right.
Cool, and I get right back.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Actually, I said 20. Let's just do 15.
Okay.
If she needs more, I'll send more later. But that's easy math for right now. Okay. And I will add Rowan's letter to my inventory for a sec, so I remember that I have it. Okay.
Did you still talk to Garen, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay. So when Zafine gets back, we head over to. Oh, actually, I have to find it. I guess I don't know where it is.
You're not sure where your uncle is. You just know he's somewhere.
I just know he's in town.
Yeah.
Maybe we should ask Roy.
Right. I was thinking of asking.
He
I was
knows.
thinking of asking Kadra that.
Yeah, he's a good source too, I think.
Yeah.
And we don't have to buy him booze,
Yes.
Yeah.
so I can save my money.
It's not so bad. He does drink lots.
Yes.
Kadra that.
Nice.
Yes.
Would you happen to know where we can find the residence of Leomark Devanara?
The Colonel. Absolutely.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay.
Oh.
Says you'll find him in the district we call the Towers. It's when you approach the city, you can see the tallest buildings in the center of the city. He lives high in one of the towers there, and he gives you the details of how to get there.
Okay.
Says there will likely be a city guard watch posted at his door.
Oh.
Let them know who you are, and they watch over him because he's a member of the High Council.
Hmm.
Okay.
You have connections unknown, Rin.
Okay.
Says all of the High Council members are watched. Well, maybe not Gavin. Gavin
I
can
don't
take care of
imagine
himself.
I don't imagine that Gavin is it.
Gavin can take care of himself.
Hmm.
Colonel Devanara can take care of himself as well, but it's still best to have
I
backup in case it's needed.
I am increasingly more nervous.
You have famous family.
Thank you. And I go to leave.
Okay.
So
So, was there, before we go down that rabbit hole, is there anything anyone else wants to do right
Chris wants to talk to Garen.
now? Okay.
Garen, Gavin, Galdrin, someone.
Garen.
But not Daniel Dwarf.
So not Daniel at the moment, dwarf.
Right.
Yes.
Presently.
So, Garen's still just kind of sitting. He's gone back to, at once Kadrazad isn't tied up with other things, he's just gone back to quietly speaking with Kadrazad.
Excuse me,
Yes,
Garen. Just a question again about his name, the slave trader.
Oh,
yeah. Kulis.
yeah.
Cool.
Oswald Kulis.
So, just one more time. When was the last time he was seen?
Last seen here, it was... chased him myself last night.
Are you guys planning on? Are you guys going to go after him anytime?
Well, if my suspicions are correct, he's a bit out of our jurisdiction. If he turns up in the city again, we have people watching for him. and coordinate with the Watch in many other major cities as well.
Have you heard about what's been going on in Boundlands at all?
What's been going on with?
In the Boundlands?
I haven't heard.
I don't know if you
I
have.
haven't heard of anything in particular outside of what little I've heard from Marchmain.
Okay.
Should have
What
missed
did they
everything
hear?
because I didn't tell him.
What did
before I
we
got
hear
back.
from Marchmain?
Yeah.
That's where Marchmain was before he went back to Bexlode. He was visiting Garen. This came up last time.
So before the fires.
Yeah.
Again, what did he hear from Marchmain?
Very little. They just kind of caught up, and like he called Marchmain in for help with a case that he has not specified.
Hmm.
Well, we might be able to be of assistance for a couple of your problems around town.
Well, help is always welcome. The Watch can offer rewards for some business if you can bring evidence, or if you can bring in people we've been looking for, or any of that sort of thing.
If we need to get in contact with you, where's your office?
Well, I'm commander of the Watch in Gate. I'm commander of the entire Watch now. It's a recent development I'm still not terribly happy about. But you'll find me at the central offices. All of the precincts report to us. We operate out of the towers.
Is that where like you guys like keep the prisoners, or is that like a separate
No,
place? Or
prisoners are held in the short time holding.
Nice.
We'll hold them in the precincts and in small jails, but usually if they're any sort of long-term incarceration, they're sent away from the city.
Okay. Well, we'll be in touch. I'll talk to my group and we'll see what we can help out with.
Well, best of luck to you. Any friends of Marchmain's are friends of mine.
I just kind of look at him and just kind of like, that coolest guy might be the one who took my mom. Then I just kind of lay down a gold for him to buy a drink and walk off.
Kind of, he looks at you, and as you're walking away, and he sort of takes the gold and kind of continues looking at you with an odd look, like, huh. Just,
Then I kind of go back to Mouse and say, cool, I think I know where he might be for short term.
Smooth.
Yeah, nice.
yeah, you.
Worst case scenario, if we get caught, we can just offer our services to try and reduce the sentencing.
There you go.
Who's this we? I never plan on getting caught. I'm not there.
Alright, so we'll probably go over to you guys that are heading to see Leomarth.
What was his first name again?
Leomarth.
is his first name.
Leomarth.
Like Liam and Mark smashed together.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, hey David. Jesse, while they're gone, he's gonna put on his disguise.
Okay. Alright, so you are already in sort of just around the outskirts of the towers. The towers are a group of just huge buildings. Some of them stand almost as tall as the south wall of the city does.
Wow.
The tallest of the buildings is probably around, like, just shy of 3,000 feet tall. And so
That's why I don't like cities.
yeah, walking through the towers feels very much sometimes like you were walking at the bottom of a deep canyon because you're just surrounded by these massive buildings on all sides.
I'm kind of fidgeting with my hair nervously.
Okay.
And I notice like, it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
And yeah, you make your way to the address you were given. It is one of the taller towers, not the tallest, but easily a couple thousand feet tall. Sort of a neat, squarish gray stone building that sort of twists as it rises up. And it's mostly a residential building where people buy housing and that sort of thing. And you go in, and you find what is essentially a magical elevator. There's a tube that has some faint glowing blue energy in it, and as you go to stand in it, you just speak the number of the floor you want to go to, and you go up to the 121st floor.
Oh, geez.
Which is very high, and
It kind of reminds me of when being in high places with my parents. I'm totally at home.
Yeah.
Totally cool.
I'm used to staying on the ground, so.
Yeah. There are windows on each end of the corridor that you step out into that you can see overlook a good chunk of the city. They're positioned in such a way that you can actually look down at sides of the city without any of the other tall buildings getting in the way.
Wow.
Cool. I stand there and you just kind of, just kind of stretch out into it just a little bit. Oh, this is wonderful.
Wow.
And,
I kind of just imagine like being in one of the hotels in Salt Lake and just being able to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Times 10.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you can see that there are only 2 doors in this hallway, one on either side, and that apparently the quarters that are on this floor, each one takes up about half of this floor in its entirety.
Wow.
And
Luxury suite.
yeah, you do see that one of the doors standing off to your right, standing not that far away from it, not directly outside it, but standing not far away from it, there are a couple of uniformed people there. There's a big, tough-looking Goliath who is wearing a very neatly cut uniform, and a Habenshid that is wearing a much messier uniform that appears to... He probably could have had it tailored to account for his like his feathers and his wings. He didn't. Instead, he just kind of like shredded it roughly. So it's just sort of like
This'll work.
And he's standing there smoking a cigarette of some kind, and they kind of look up at you as you approach. The Goliath says, "I'm sorry, do you have business here?"
My companion is here to visit her uncle, the Colonel, Devanara.
They kind of look at each other and look at you skeptically, like, didn't know the Colonel had any family.
Now you do. He does.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Come on, persuasion, don't fail me now. Oh, natural 20 plus 8. Bam!
Yeah, they seem a little taken aback by the confidence with which you just state this, and they look at each other. They just say, "Well, all right then. We assume you are who you say you are, but we'll be listening for trouble. So as long as there's no trouble, everything will be fine."
Then it will be fine. Thank you very much.
And they just kind of stand aside. The Habenshid doesn't seem to have ever really stopped leaning against the wall. And, but they allow you to approach and knock on the door. and not long after you knock,
Uncle Mar.
yeah, a man approaches and opens the door. He is probably maybe late 30s, early 40s. He has red hair, kind of a scruffy beard that is covering most of his face. It doesn't look like it's all that well kept. He doesn't pay that much attention to it. And he is looking down, just kind of brushing some kind of crumbs or something off of his tunic, and as he answers the door, and he opens the door and just kind of is like, "Can I help?"
Hi.
he's just like, "Laurie?" And you know that Laurie was the name that he called you to annoy your mother. Yeah,
Laurie.
It was his nickname for you.
Hi.
And he just grabs you, picks you up, and spins you around, and it squeezes you so tight.
Aww.
You're pretty sure that you're not going to be able to breathe. He's squeezing so
Too much, Uncle Bart. Too much.
and he sets you down, puts his hands on your shoulders, and he's just like, your mother and I didn't know if you were even alive. What? Where have you been?
Around. I just spent about a month in Bexlode, in the Boundlands. Anyway.
Can't say I've been there. I've been to the Boundlands. I haven't been to Bexlode.
It's an interesting town.
Please come in. And he waves to Zafine as well.
Mhm.
And,
Oh, Uncle Mar, this is my friend Zafine. We met just outside of Bexlode.
Pleasure, Colonel.
It's good to meet you. Zafine Kreese, correct? I believe I've heard of you.
Yes.
You've done diplomatic work for some of my colleagues on the High Council.
Yes, I have.
It's a pleasure to meet you. And as you are walking in, you hear the two guards that were posted. The Habenschied kind of leans over. It's just like, oh, guess she is his niece.
Just waiting to see what happens.
Yeah. And yeah, Zafine, you catch just out of the corner of your eye the Goliath sort of sheepishly handing over a few coins to the Habenschied.
Nice.
And it's very well furnished in here. It's a pretty big place. It's not massive. It's not like he has a huge place, but it's well furnished. It's very nice, like a very kind of high-end apartment feel. Lots of windows on the walls that open out so that there's a nice view. Everything is clean and much cleaner than Leomarth himself appears to be.
Unkempt as always.
Yeah. And he kind of looks down at himself and he's like, my apologies. It's like, the only reason this place is clean is the maid. But he
Extremely useful.
he leads you into a sort of a sitting room / living room, nicely furnished place. And so you really must tell me what has happened to you.
I spent a lot of time just wandering Devera. And until one day I woke up and... Huh?
Your mother had me wandering to Vera trying to find you, so you must have done a pretty good job of keeping yourself hidden. I wandered all over the place. Couldn't
Well,
hide a hair of you.
I was worried about Xanathus the entire time, so
That's a reasonable concern until recently, your mother tells me.
me too. It's a relief, actually. But, yeah, about, oh heavens, how long would that have been now? 11 years ago, I woke up here in Gate, actually. And, I met a Havanchid by the name of Jamie Navarra. Have you heard of him?
Can't say the name is familiar to me,
Mm.
no.
He-
But I haven't been in Gate that
Sure.
long. 5 years now.
Well, after I met Jamie, he kind of took me under his wing, shall we say. And I traveled with him for a couple of years. Until he disappeared. And shortly after that, I came into some power. And I've kind of just been traveling and trying to help people since then.
No idea what a relief it is to see you well. Your mother held out hope, but I fear that I had considered the worst more often than she had.
Yeah.
You were just so young when you left when you were forced out.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous world out there.
Especially for a child. I mean, I understand. But I have a new group of friends now. We travel around and just try to help when we think we can be of aid.
So you're adventuring then?
Yeah. Isn't that a weird turn of events?
Certainly. It's lucrative work. Dangerous, though. Very dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's about this time that you see what you had taken to be just like a short table along one of the walls. You see around the corner just a huge warhorse with silver-haired warhorse come just trotting, and you recognize this was his horse. This was this was his horse Mercuran.
Apartment.
And it just kind of walks forward and leans down into what apparently is in fact a trough. You had taken it just to be some sort of table or cabinet along one.
Oh.
And
Mercuran, I
comes forward and starts eating out of one side of it.
I kind of lean back and go,
I didn't realize he was still around.
So,
And-
Mercuran's,
in a tower's apartment, no less.
yes, it's unusual, I know, but they allow me my eccentricities. Mercuran will likely be around as long as I'm around. He's not quite an ordinary horse.
Oh, I think I understand. And I kind of like hint at Loki on my shoulder.
Yeah. I'd gotten that sense. There's something familiar about that.
Familiar.
Unintentional, but okay.
That was really smooth for unintentional. Woo!
Yeah. But it says a raven. It's, am I to assume that you serve the Raven Queen then?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Interesting choice. But from my knowledge of her, she is a worthy mistress. That's what little knowledge of her I have. I'm sorry, I've been a terrible host. Are you thirsty, hungry? Could I?
No, we just
touch
came
on
from
anything?
Kadrazat. So
Oh, well. He'll have taken care of you then, I'm sure.
he's a
Very
good
well.
man indeed.
He is. He's a mystery.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've heard.
Where's Stacia these days?
Oh, Stacia here's wandering. She's going adventuring herself.
Really?
It's true. I'm not sure where she is. She does not write very often.
Oh.
she. I think she means to. But
Was she as hot-headed as ever?
yes, worse. More so.
Oh, I miss her.
She wanders around with a wild animal too.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like yours, or?
Not.
It's a Goliath.
Oh,
Sorry,
I
I
actually
couldn't
know
help
what it is, but I'm in character right now, so.
It's a little more carnivorous.
Oh. Okay. Like a bear then? Like a...
Sort of, yes. Kind of like a bear. That's a good way to put it.
Kind of like a bear.
Okay.
Like about 3/4 of a bear.
Oh.
Oh, we know one of those.
Oh.
And it's not like yours or mine. It's she found it. She found it in the woods and made friends with it, and it makes me very uncomfortable.
I can't imagine. Yeah, a couple friends of mine almost got killed by a couple of those.
Yeah, they're dangerous creatures.
Yeah.
But it
It makes for good jokes now. Right, Jafine?
Oh yes, no end.
Yes, hers seems to be well behaved, but still makes me a little nervous.
Yeah. They are not often docile, so she's something else, I guess.
Yeah. Mercuran kind of sniffs the air and seems to recognize you and trots over and just kind of nudges his head into the side of your face.
Hi. Hi there. Good to see you too.
And so Leomarth just kind of looks a little bit at a loss. There's so much that has been missed. He's not sure where to begin with anything. And
Yeah.
it's been a long journey for both of us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What brings you and your friends to Gate?
Contacts mostly.
Looking for the next adventure.
Yeah.
It's a good place for that.
Yeah. We were just talking with Garen. Garen, Zafine, do you remember?
Shield
Of
Rider.
course I do.
Shield Rider, the new commander.
Yes. Yeah, we were just talking with him.
I don't know him well, but I have spoken to him a bit. The watch and the gate guard do have some back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was just telling us about some of the happenings around town. So we may.
It is a busy city. There are always happenings, especially for one in law enforcement.
Hmm.
Never
Well,
going to be any shortage of trouble, I imagine.
But I think we may hang out for a little bit and see if we can lend a hand. Possibly after that, stop into Vale's Peak.
I'm sure that your mother would be thrilled to see you. I assume if you found me, you likely already have gotten in contact with her.
Yeah, I just recently found some courage to write to her, and she quickly replied.
If we'd had any way of getting news to you, we definitely would have sooner. Especially after Gabriel's death, that was essentially the end of your effective exile. You would have been welcome back in Vale's Peak anytime after that.
Yeah.
But you're,
I do feel sorry for Gabriel, though.
I'm not sure I do. Man was an ass.
True, but I think he just wanted to take care of his people.
Maybe. I never liked the man. Assumptions were made that, he had done something to anger the Xanathus family. Not sure they had anything to do with it.
I don't know, but
Your mother and I had darker suspicions.
she mentioned that. What kind of suspicions?
I don't feel like I can speak for Ladrina. That maybe... If you want more detail, that may be something to ask her yourself. But I'm not sure how much I can tell you. It's your mother's secrets, not mine. It's her mission kept her there. Her mission kept her from looking for you.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to your mother to tell you how we know this, but we have reason to believe that Vale's Peak rests on top of a shadow crossing.
Do I know what that is?
It's a way to the Shadowfell.
Ah!
Yeah.
That was my hunch, but okay.
Most of them were supposed to have been closed thousands of years ago, but we have reason to believe that there was one missed in Vale's Peak somehow, or reopened somewhere along the line, perhaps. Your mother stayed in Vale's Peak to guard the Shadow Crossing. I helped when I could.
I imagine your work kept you away as well.
Yes. It's The Shadowfell is a dangerous place. There are dangerous things to be found there, and ideally none of them get out into the prime material.
Is the Shadow Realm related to the Feywild?
In a sense, yes, there is a connection there. They're both echo planes. They are echoes of the prime material that, in one way or another, amplify aspects of the prime material.
But you wouldn't be getting like displacer beasts from the Shadowfell.
No,
I didn't think so.
There are dangerous things and beautiful things of one sort or another on both the Feywild and the Shadowfell. There are good people and dark forces on both of them. But the Feywild is a place of beauty. It amplifies emotions. Everything that you could feel here would be taken to a greater extent there. It would be amplified 1,000 times. The beauties are amplified. The emotions are amplified. Everything is bigger and brighter. Shadowfell is the opposite of that. Everything is deader, essentially.
Interesting.
More death, more darkness.
Emotions deadened, colors dimmed. But from what your mother told me of it, there is much trouble that could boil over into the prime material from there. I believe your mistress, the Raven Queen, does actually maintain her realms, the castle of Lithernia on the Shadowfell, far to the north.
To my understanding.
Your mother tells me she had more power on the Shadowfell once than she does now, but there are other forces there that are attempting to chip away at it one way or another. But my apologies if you have more specific questions. Ladrina will have to.
No, I understand.
While we are here visiting with you, Colonel Divinara, I was wondering if you knew much about why the Peculiars chose such an unpopular candidate to run for their position.
It's a mystery to all of us, really. It seems as though they would be defeating their own chances. I can't say I have any insight to that personally. I'm one of the framers on the council. But the Peculiars have they seldom have more than maybe a third of the council, although every 2 or 3, maybe 4 elections they do win the ministry. They're generally about tightening the belt on all of Gates' government, and Avenda is a successful businessman, even if he's not very likable. Perhaps they think that he'll be a good economic choice. But they have to know that he's unpopular, that there's little chance that he will stand up at all, especially against Kella Midwell. Kella Midwell is very well liked.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you.
He says, there is speculation that they're playing some sort of game behind the scenes, but I don't follow intrigue. I'm sure one level of corruption within both my own party and the Peculiars, if you go looking deep enough for it. But not anything I could speak to.
Thank you.
Of course. So, but please don't call me Colonel. Too many people call me that.
No problem.
I
Old
get
habit.
tired of it. I get tired of it.
Rin, you
Well,
seemed surprised that Uncle Marth was a colonel.
Yeah. Well, last I saw him, he was still in his adventuring days, so.
Ah, an adventuring history yourself.
It's a long history. I did, in fact, have a few military years before you were born in the Deveran, in the Oathar, the Deveran military.
Mm.
I made it all the way up to Major before I decided that the military life was not for me. It was too straight-laced. And get out and only follow my own orders, you know.
Be a little more disheveled.
I would be offended if it wasn't true. Honestly, 3 years of tucking in shirts and... it was a promising career, but I left it behind. And my adventuring career went on. I saw some success. A few years ago, though, my friends and I we took a job carrying a group of researchers as close to the far wall as possible. The southern storm, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Traveled with a human named Damio Gentle. He was a druid. Half-orc named Holland Shoal. Very good with the sword. And longtime friend of mine, a dwarf, a little thief. Her name was Elia Shalebreak. And we'd been traveling for a long time together. We'd had enough success that Elia had bought a ship, called it the Tide Star. So we were hired by these researchers to get them as close to the far wall as we could, safely. They wanted to take some readings of the wind speeds, measure the magical energies out that way, that sort of thing. And, we approached it as carefully as we could, and even from, we must have been 40, 50 miles away, it filled the entire horizon. Terrifying thing to witness. Just dark, swirling, flashing energy all across the horizon. It looked like it was going to explode at any moment, honestly. And we skirted the edge of it. Even from that far out, the wind shredded our sails twice. We had to take them down and repair them. But they spent a few days gathering their information, and that's when the storm swelled. No one was expecting it. It wasn't forecasted. There was no sign of it. And the ship was caught up. And next thing I knew, I was standing at the edge of the ship, looking down close to a mile to the ocean.
Oh.
Picked our ship up completely. Spinning around wildly, completely, utterly shredded the ship. There's almost nothing left of it. And, my friends didn't make it. most of the researchers were killed too. I managed to swim my way back to the surface, caught my breath, looked around, managed to find 4 survivors still clinging to a piece of the wreckage. Did the only thing I could think of, which was to summon Mercuran in a different form than usual, and he reaches up and kind of like pats Mercuran on the cheek. Summoned Mercuran in the form of a dolphin, managed to lash a piece of the wreckage large enough to tow the researchers behind us. Swam in the direction that we away from the far wall. We didn't even really have a specific direction in mind. Never much of a navigator.
Roped himself a couple of sea turtles.
We made it a few days back before the lack of drinkable water became a problem. Tried to use prestidigitation to clean some of the ocean water. It didn't work. It was just as salty as ever. Purified of dirt and perhaps some of the disease that it might have carried. The salt stayed, and we likely would have died of thirst if we hadn't been found by a contingent of Tritons. Incredibly haughty, awful, wonderful woman. Delarin, that she called herself. It was incredibly full of herself. I don't know if you've met any Tritons. They all are. They all think that they're just the best thing that is. They're good at art for the most part. People brought us water. They hurried us back to Kaidon. I was alone at that point. I didn't know what to do. Didn't know where to go. People I'd traveled with for most of my life suddenly gone. Had no way to bring them back. I couldn't so much as find their bodies, and much less bring them back. So I just wandered for a while. Only stopped in to see Ladrina once. This was sometime before this recent rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
After about half a year of wandering, I found myself here in Gate. Only really ever intended to pass through, but I happened to be, well, embarrassing to say, it's drunk on the streets, and I heard this horrible bellowing. I was in one of the dark sides of the city under Morton. I don't know if you've ever encountered Morthax in your time, but there. If you haven't, think somewhere between lesser giants like ogres and debased orcs, awful, brutal, tusked creatures that live in caverns and tunnels. Don't come to the surface whenever there's daylight, and they also don't go far enough down to cross over into the Underdark. I imagine that the expansion of the city must have breached a natural tunnel close to their tribal grounds. They burst into the city from somewhere beneath the West Arch. Dozens of them came bellowing in, just killing whatever they could reach. And drunk though I figured I was probably one of the only people that could do anything to stop it, so I gathered up a few of the more capable locals that I found to try to stop them before any serious damage could be done. And we managed to corral them in and thin out their numbers. By the time the gate guard arrived, we'd actually completely taken all of them down with me and just 10 locals. All of a sudden, I was a hero. Commended for bravery. They somehow dug up my old rank from when I was in the Oathar, dusted it off. advanced that to colonel and named me a colonel of the gate guard. And I had new friends and rewards that I didn't especially need. I had plenty of money. I was fine. So I bought this place. Decided to settle down. I suppose my reactions to all that sort of thing, managing to halt it quickly before any great damage could be done, made me a bit of a local celebrity. And I was quite surprised in the next election to find myself elected to the High Council. I didn't run. I didn't realize I was on any of the lower councils. But I found out that I had been nominated the day that they told me I'd been elected.
Ah, quick work.
So I've been serving on the High Council since, mostly busied myself with matters of military concern, training troops, that sort of thing, making sure that...
How recently did you say, Uncle Marth, that that you had done that with the
Morthax?
Morthax? Thank you.
The Morthax, that was right when I first arrived in the city about 5 years ago.
Oh, 5 years ago.
And the next election after that, I found myself in office. But I do take part in policy votes for the city, but for the most part, I'm busy myself with military matters since I suppose at this point I'm more military than politician. So.
Yeah, I wish I would have known that. I was through here a couple of years ago.
Yes, I wish I'd heard. But I suppose I wouldn't have heard about you coming through unless you'd done something to... I don't know.
I don't know. Usually I just pop in for a few days over in Jinso's loft, Lillian's place.
Lillian Roth, I believe. Haven't met her, heard of her.
She's a really sweet lady.
So you said you'd come through town with this Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do when you passed through town then?
Oh, he liked to come in and talk to Gavin.
You've met Gavin then?
Yes, I've met Gavin.
Oh, he must have never learned your surname, or he would have told me that you were around. He would have recognized it, I'm sure.
I don't know.
Either that, or he hasn't learned my surname yet.
I don't know.
Well, we've been traveling with you for months now, and I'm not even sure all of our party even knows your proper name completely.
I suppose that's true. Maybe I've been a little afraid to hint that out. But
don't be afraid to share things with the people you travel with. It's one of my regrets. Wasn't always open with them.
yeah. It's hard to get used to being around people.
I imagine it is.
But I'm working on it.
try to let them in to the best of your abilities.
Right?
So, I wish I'd told them more about the things that worried me. I wish I had connected with them on deeper levels than I did. Especially those last few years, I wish I had admitted to Elia that I quite liked her. It was... Some of that was my own difficulty, and some of that was that I'm not sure I've ever quite gotten over Stashikir's mother.
How long has that been now?
Too long.
Every connection is an opportunity for richness and learning.
Wise words. You should have been around to tell them to me when I was needing to hear them. Well, if you speak to Gavin,
I do need to go see Gavin. Just for a minute.
if you speak to him, then please berate him for me for not telling me that he was at the very least acquainted with you.
I will be sure to fill him in.
If you have any needs, if there's anything that I can help you and your friends with while you're in Gates, I will do what I can.
Could we perhaps have a missive or a signature to that effect, so that we don't have to persuade our way to that end?
Certainly. And he goes to a table along the wall, and there's just kind of a haphazard pile of papers there that he evidently has told his maid she is not allowed to clean up because it is the only place that seems to be quite as chaotic as he is.
High space.
He is going through looking for something, and he pulls out a quill and quickly writes a note of recommendation that he signs and hands to you.
Thank you very much.
This is,
Uncle Marth,
yes,
do you remember Taliesin?
I do. I searched for him too after he was gone. But he seems to have been just as good at disappearing as you.
Just keep an ear out for him, yeah?
I will,
Thank you.
of course. Unfortunately, I do actually have business that I have to
Sure.
get to.
Of course.
There's some new recruits in the gate guard that need whipping into shape, and
You are just the man for that.
oh, I'm not sure of that, but they seem to think so. It's good to speak to you. It's good to know you're safe. And he hugs you again. If you happen to run into Stashikir out there, then tell her to write her bloody father.
I will happily do so.
bids you good day. So, what are your plans now?
Jailbreak, jailbreak,
So we head
jailbreak,
back?
jail.
No. While we're leaving and going back down to wherever we're going next, so what did happen to Jamie? I know
I wish I
that
knew. I wish I knew. We were here in Gate, I believe. And he was there when I went to bed. And he was not when I woke up.
because I'm familiar with the Habanshid propensity to drop out of lives from time to time. So
I imagine you would be. It just it seemed kind of strange.
that is strange, yes. Interesting.
And if you wish to speak to Gavin, he lives actually just a couple of streets over from here. In
Oh,
the
really?
Towers.
I was wondering if we wanted to just go hit him up next.
Sure.
If you want to go speak to Gavin, he's not far.
Yeah, let's run over and speak to Gavin. But we can cut away to other people first.
Yeah, let's cycle out a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you going to bed, Heidi? Oh, okay.
I'm totally straight up playing card games with Roy and
Cheating him out of everything.
What's his face? Not cheating him out of it. I'm learning.
Ah.
The cheater is the one teaching.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The two
He's like, now.
you were talking to for a while eventually did have to leave after you.
I was gonna ask him what their names were before they left.
Okay.
So I don't think I caught that.
Yeah, they
On the spot.
yeah, if you would have asked them their names, then you would have heard them say that one of them was named Anwil, and that's the more skeptical one. He didn't really seem comfortable giving you a last name, but his friend told you anyway that it was
What are friends for?
it was Bracker, Anwil Bracker. And the one that you were speaking to was Jotham Maylert. So
They were both human.
both human, yeah.
Sweet, what are we going to do now?
Yeah, we're kind of lost on what's going on.
Sorry.
We kind of just
We're doing
over.
cutscene.
We cut over
Yeah,
to you
we're,
guys.
we're cutting back to other people so that we're
Okay.
not exclusively.
Mouse and I would probably enjoy Tamati.
You guys are kind of good. So I'm sitting there learning a card game from Roy. So if you
Wait,
guys
where are we right now?
we're in Kadrazat Sanctuary, still in the bar.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you guys have.
So while they're doing their cutscene, yeah, it cuts back to us, and we're just like, yeah, this is awesome.
So like we just left and whatever you guys are gonna do.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to be careful not to like. Get the bar. So Roy's the one who like knows all this stuff, right?
Yeah, Roy
Yeah.
is the little drunk Drake basically that hangs out in here and mooches off people.
The drunk Drake.
But we don't know that.
So, do we want?
Well, they're not here.
Yeah, Zafina and I are still
Yeah,
out.
so-
You guys and Tamati in the bar
yeah.
right now.
We're
And
just
Samaya.
cutting back to you guys so
Okay.
that
And
it's not
Samaya.
like. Yeah, we're cutting back to you guys so that it's not just like Rin and Zafine are dominating the story right now. Like,
Yeah.
Sure.
Not have it the two
We have
person show.
a little bit of everybody in the bar, and then Rin and Zafine for the next 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know.
So we go and be like, let's go for a walk.
Yeah.
Going for a walk? I'm in the middle of the game.
Okay.
Okay, we could. I guess we can. Sure, that's fine.
I don't know. After your card
Roll
game.
an intelligence check, Tamati.
We'll use this new dice because that's a good one. Oh! Oh! It was on natural 20 and then rolled to 8.
Oh.
Oh.
I do believe that is 7 for intelligence.
Alright, so, yeah. Roy.
My wisdom went up. My intelligence didn't.
You were still not
Roy takes you for a ride. He is,
Oh.
like, he's not playing for money. He's just been betting on you buying him drinks. And at this point, like, you've now lost enough games that you basically have to buy him drinks, like, you have to buy him like 15 drinks.
I'm just sitting here like, I can't believe I'm losing this bad.
Maybe it's time for that walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I'll get you later, Roy. Punk. All right, so we're going for a walk. This would be good. I gotta go clear my head.
Yeah. So where are you guys heading?
What are our options?
The entire city of games.
Like, I don't know, for me, I think I would want to just walk somewhere where I know that no one's listening.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I'm just following along. I'm like, yeah, sure, let's go for a walk.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
It's a big
No
city.
alcohol.
Yeah, the city's always busy. There are people pretty much everywhere you go, but most of them are just kind of walking past, not really interested in what they have their own lives to live, so they're not too worried about it.
Is there somewhere in the bar that
Yeah,
like?
the rooms
Yeah,
that you got.
There are alleys that you could duck into that don't get much traffic, that kind of thing.
We go somewhere where there's not a lot of people.
Yeah, I think if Mouse went out and like saw that they're like, oh my gosh, there's people everywhere, she'd be like, let's go get a room. Like,
You had a room.
don't get excited, guys. Let's just go get a room.
Yeah, you do have private quarters at Kajazat's place, like at the sanctuary.
Yeah, he gave us the room coins, so
Okay.
there is that option. I'm like, let's go for a walk. Oh wait, up to the stairs to the rooms. That's not much of a walk.
Yeah. Well, you can go walking around and look around first if you want, and then change your mind and come back. In fact, if you do that on your way outside, Tamati, make a perception check.
Ooh.
Come on, give me something good. Oh yeah, it's not bad.
Yes.
Okay. Perception.
Hooray for not bad.
Check.
Be high.
Ooh. 18.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
I may be drunk, but I'm very perceptive.
you're normally not the biggest reader, so you don't really pay attention to the people that are selling newspapers on street corners for the most part. But something about one of the headline on this newspaper. And this newspaper is called The Guardian at the Gate, and the headline catches your eye. You recognize a name. You recognize the name Vontes Whitehand, which is one of the dwarves that you once fought alongside. You traveled with for a while, and
I knew it sounded familiar.
You kind of stop and take a closer look, and you see that the headline reads it's Vontes Whitehand's rebellion takes control of Voltron, which is one of the largest cities in Hadlin.
Whoa.
Plot hook. Okay.
My head. Drop.
Yeah.
I'm putting actual hooks next to each of these little
Right.
things. I'm like, I want to go on that one, and I want to go on that one.
Right.
So
I have a visual representation of where I want to go. Hey guys, look at this! I know this guy. I fought alongside him back in the day.
You've been holding back on her.
I just like hold the paper in front of his face and just bop him on the nose through the paper. I'm like, hey, can you read this?
Points of bludgeoning damage. Through paper. kind of chuckles.
Yes, I can read. You just don't read very fast. That's all. At all. I had a picture, okay?
But yeah, if you
And they were
buy a
big
copy
letters.
of the paper, it's only a copper, and it doesn't detail
Yeah, totally.
it doesn't detail much about it, but just that Vontes Whitehand's rebellion has been going on for maybe 5 or 6 months now, and this is one of the first signs that it might actually have legs.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Sure can. Pick 'em to money.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna buy the newspaper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you buy today's edition of The Guardian at the Gate. And
The Guardian at the Gate.
This is Chill Mark 2nd.
yes.
Ooh.
Anyway, you guys return to Kadrazat Sanctuary, and are you going to go up to one of the rooms then to?
Yeah.
So you walk up the stairs, and you.
I get Roy a drink on the way up. Down to 14. Okay.
Hey, Thomas, who's your friend?
You know what, the little guy? He's a
Yeah.
cheat and a crook and has lots of information. His name's Roy.
Really?
He's don't play cards with him. And
Hey, Roy. Hey, Roy. Next drink's on me.
don't. Oh no! It's got to be on me so that I can break my debt.
Proxy, whatever.
It's one of the 14.
Wait around.
And Roy just kind of like nods in your direction, and his tiny little Drake potbelly jiggles with it as he does.
Oh man.
Oh, I love this guy.
And,
I remember him when I was Garen.
as you say that, Kadrazad is just like, "Will you people stop encouraging him?"
At this point, I can't. He's got 14 more. Never playing cards with you again. Terrible game.
Anyway, you head up the stairs, and there are 3 levels to Kadrazat Sanctuary, and as you reach the 3rd level, you kind of feel this vibration from whatever pocket, wherever you're storing your coins, and you see that what appears to be a wall just kind of phases out of existence as you approach it, and there is another staircase that leads upward another level.
Dude!
Oh, bro.
I love this place.
And as you climb this hidden staircase, you find yourself at the top at a long hallway that, so far as you can tell, seems infinite. The hallway just seems to go on and on and on. And as you walk a little ways down the hallway, each of you individually feel vibrations as your coin reacts with a certain spot on the wall and makes a door appear for your own private chambers.
So cool. This guy's so cool.
Kadrazat did say that for friends of the sanctuary, there's always room.
I'm gonna look down the hallway and just take off running.
That's like running as fast as you can, but not quite as fast as tomorrow. So it's like this gap that increases slowly.
Yeah.
Just you just hold the
Yeah.
Are we like actually moving away from everybody? Or is it like running in place type of a thing?
Strangely, like you definitely get the sensation that you are moving, but when you look back, you don't seem to have gotten more than like maybe 60 feet away from everyone.
Cool. I turn around and run back.
Okay. Yeah, you turn around and run back, and your room's door shimmers into existence again as you're standing near it.
So cool. It's like, imagine like Garfield scenery where everything is the same as it passes by you again and again and again and again. Cool. All right. We're not going to bed now, are we? What time is it? I was like, let's go on a walk. Okay, now we're going to upstairs. It's really cool, but what's going on?
So, Mouse opens the door to the room that she has access to, and I can
Okay.
Okay. Go in.
and
Duck as I go in.
Yeah, you all step into a very nice room that it kind of seems blank at first as you walk into it, but over the first 30 seconds or so that Mouse is inside, it arranges itself to her preferences.
Nice.
Like it is
That's
decorated.
awesome.
It is decorated exactly as you would want to.
It smells like pink unicorns come out. No!
Wait.
Secure.
So I cannot describe your rooms because how the rooms look is up to you guys.
Oh, that's so
That
cool.
is so cool.
That's awesome.
That's totally just like a perspective assignment I got in college.
Oh yeah.
I may never leave.
I think like mine would be like a
My
fancy room, like a country style room, you know,
Very rustic.
like because she grew up like in the country, but she's like wanting a fancy version, so it like comes up with this weird combination of both. You know?
Cool.
Nice.
Nice.
So what do you think about like breaking out bad people out of jail? Do you have any like personal views on that?
Oh,
Wow, that's
Good lead.
Was not expecting that question when I came into this room.
The lead was not buried at all.
Right? Straight up.
Well, I mean, it's how bad are they? Who are they? What's the reason for breaking them out? You know, I got to know a little more particulars about this before I.
Yeah. So you know, we all come from different backgrounds. You know, some
Clearly.
people
clearly.
even kill people. But then they straighten out later, like myself. So you know,
You've killed
some
people?
don't. Some people don't.
Oh, we're coming back to that.
We've been killing people left and right. What are you talking about?
This is like criminal. Those are like clearing the streets, you know. That's different.
Yeah.
We got paid for that. They're
Well, we
getting
did
put in jail for
almost
theirs.
get arrested for the death of Cora Wynn.
Well, that was different. Everybody thought she was still alive.
So
And we didn't
So,
do it
you
at
know-
that time.
Double Jeopardy.
Double Jeopardy, that's right. We were acquitted the first one.
So yeah, so like he's my best friend. So that makes a difference, you know, bonus points for friendship.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
You know, and I found my way out, so he could eventually find his way out. And being best friend status kind of says to me that we should break him out of jail.
Awesome.
Status says we should break him out of jail.
It's like,
Oh, I don't mean to laugh, but you know.
it's like, no, like he's kind of a bad dude. He probably did it, but I like him so.
Yeah, right. I can change him. He can change, I promise. So, wow. I have no problems breaking people out of jail.
Cool, let's do it then.
I mean, I grew up around dwarves for the last like 10 years or so. So yeah, I've got no problems breaking people out of jail.
Wait, are you saying dwarves break people
Yeah,
out
I
of
was like,
jail?
what does that say about dwarves?
You don't know. You weren't there.
That's right.
You gotta hang around dwarves to get that image. One day I'll tell you all my secrets, but that's not today. I'm still very curious about this dodging the question that I asked earlier.
Which question? Oh, that question.
The only question I asked about the whole thing. Yeah, we'll come back to that one. That discussion's not over yet. So, what's the plan? Do we have a plan? What's the plan?
We don't have a plan.
I do have an idea how we can cover our tracks. So without going into too much detail, there's this thing we did once where we broke someone up. We kind of like staged like a... We wanted to cause some trouble, so we left like the opposition political party's symbol like somewhere. So we could break him out and use the symbol of the political party to make it look like that the people from the Peculiars broke him out.
Peculiars.
That would be.
That seems very, very dangerous right now. I mean,
we're not going to
the
discuss any more about the
entire
story, but
city could explode at that point.
You don't know.
Best I could think of.
It's true, but you don't know what I don't know. You're not
I think
here.
if we can get him out without anybody knowing our involvement, then we can maintain our relationships with our current people,
Sure.
And then if we can get him out without, because what we don't want is someone knowing, because we don't want to have to pay somebody off. We don't want to, and we want him to be able to just continue on with whatever thing he was doing before. Not we could be like, hey man, we kind of helped you, so maybe you could just like duck out at this point, maybe not kill the guy you're going for.
So,
Safety purposes.
To be fair, though, everyone's saying that there's no way that the guy from the Peculiar Party is going to win at all. So
that's probably true. But being on the minority side of things when it comes to walking into a town, I know what people do to minorities in this aspect. And if they start raising a ruckus, then there's bad things that can happen. I'm just saying, it seems like using a political...
So I explained it wrong. Leaving this to make it look like... It wouldn't do it because they tried to assassinate the minority party. I meant like leaving the symbol to them think that he's still out going for the assassination, so it would like cover up our tracks and make it look like he's still going there. I said that wrong, sorry.
Gotcha. I was like, you go for the second political party that's like trying to gain footing in the city. It's kind of a scary thought. But yeah, if it's like a rogue assassin type thing, and they're like, yeah, we'll break him out. It's like PETA. You guys know what PETA is. Yeah. Yeah, I can see something like that. Some like third faction that's just trying to cause havoc. Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's a thought, but
That's interesting.
I also have an idea that I pull out the symbol from Foundlands, like the official thing. We could.
You still have that?
Of course he still has it. We're not giving it back.
I mean, to try and get in, I could try and forge like some documents to make it look like I'm from, like I'm an officer from Foundlands, and just say, oh, we've had trouble with this guy too. We'd like to question him a little bit to at least get some info and see where he's at. So,
Yeah, that could work.
Nah.
That could really work.
I have the disguise self, and so we could use that for multiple things. Like if we want to like get in contact with him first, or like kind of let him know that we're coming, I could disguise myself as his mom and go in there and like talk to him. I'd love to see his
not
face.
there, but I think that's a great idea.
I just imagine him sitting in his jail cell. There comes his mom. Mom, what are you doing here?
Didn't you die?
Okay.
Oh, hush, honey.
The guards don't know that. Be quiet.
And if you want a distraction,
He's in the jail. His mom comes up and he's just like, "Oh no, I was only in trouble with the law, but now this is worse."
This is way worse.
if we need like,
Sorry, mother.
if we need a distraction, we could. I have a bag of magic beans. I have no idea what they do.
Don't throw them on the ground. Explode.
I like
We
that
could-
one right now.
Find it real close by. Make sure like it's like opening where there's a lot of people. And I have no idea what will happen, but
We'll make him out of jail, plant a bean in his jail cell.
well, no, we thought the to the to distracted.
I'm loving this plan already. I like the bean in the jail
I
cell.
have no idea what will happen.
Me neither. Let's do that one.
I am scared of people dying.
Well, if you're creating a distraction, that's a good one. Well, I'm more on board with the idea of figuring out what exactly is going on first. I mean,
Yeah, I also could try writing him letters.
sure,
Like,
but that seems like it would take time.
Yeah, well, we would write litter and then have Mouse or Nip kick.
Oh. Okay.
Subtlety is always the first. You realize you've given us very little time.
Very little information. All we know is that he tried to assassinate somebody.
Yeah.
And he's a very good friend.
If we do want to question him, we could try with, like, oh, we're from the Boundlands. You know, he caused some trouble there too. Would we be able to just talk with him?
Sure.
Like,
Yeah. I'm just trying to, like I said, I have no problems breaking people out of jail. That's not a problem. It's just
Getting caught.
why they're in there and why we need to get them out. That's the question that, I've got a siege maul. I can break anybody out of anything, so I'm not too worried about that part.
The logistics are not a problem.
Any chance of swinging
mean-
that thing, but
we have to make sure where he is.
well, sure, yeah. It's
But-
not like I'm gonna lead with that. I mean, it's not how you break somebody out of jail, unless it's a small jail in the middle of nowhere. That's another story for another time.
And if I use this stuff, it only lasts for an hour, so
Gotcha. And that should be more than enough time to get any information we need. So, I think the more information we get from him is going to be the better. Because then, I mean, then we have a reason aside from he's such a nice guy to go in and break him out. I know, if it was my friend, I'd be doing the exact same position. So I get where you're coming from.
best friend.
There you go. I've got lots of those.
We're like best friend soulmates.
Yeah.
Like in the friend of like, you're my soul best friend. Nothing else.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, or are you saying Roy get information out of Roy?
No,
Well,
she
just see if he
posted
knows
a
any.
picture being like, is this kind of what?
Oh, I didn't see any pictures. Gotcha. So I see Roy? Question mark. I'm
Oh
like,
my goodness.
I get it. I love it.
That was a huge, that was a huge dragon.
That's awesome.
Okay, well,
Anyway.
while it is not on us,
But yeah.
I will be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have to go to bed pretty soon.
Okay.
Like I should have already gone to
Yeah.
bed.
Yeah.
Probably any jailbreak shenanigans will have to be postponed for next time, just because, especially if you're going to bed soon, there'd be way too much there to actually get into it. But at least we're setting those dominoes up.
Setting
enough
the stage.
later, so.
But like,
Yeah.
let's sleep on it. In the morning, we'll send Nip in, or we'll disguise ourselves and go in, get some more information, and then tomorrow night, if we need to.
Yeah, because like the reason why I kind of want to talk to him first is because what if he wanted to get caught because he's trying to like talk to somebody?
There is that. Yeah.
Because like, we did all kinds of jobs, and maybe like maybe he wanted to get caught.
Jobs.
Jobs of sorts.
I'm learning more and more about you. This is great.
I'm assuming it's a job, unless he just has a personal vendetta that he's just
Sure.
really past
Yeah.
about nowhere.
Are you from Gate?
No.
Yes. Well, I mean,
Insight check. Is she lying? I think she's lying.
For like a year, maybe he.
No,
yeah,
she's telling the
maybe
truth. Okay.
Like, maybe he just got really politically emotional about something and just like, no, this guy's gotta go. I doubt it.
Unless there's a job, it just wouldn't make sense to like be trying to kill the.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
No
I'm
chance.
guessing he's a job and he was just stupid. And
It's
got
like trying to
caught.
kill Ron Paul.
Oh dear. But yeah, let's plan on things. I'm fully on board with this. I have no problems with it. Any chance for some action in a big city that I can wreck? I would be glad to be on board.
Super thought I have the silent spell, and
But then you can't hear him either.
well, what I was gonna say is we have someone who makes stuff that explodes and breaks stuff.
Oh,
So I mean,
sure. Yeah, I can see
just,
that.
I mean, if we need to like get break
Get out
those,
fast. Sure.
but like,
Yeah.
but not like be loud.
Interesting. Yeah.
Last time you got somebody out of jail, that little like, what was it?
Lynn's sister from the Hobgoblin
Oh,
camp.
that's right. Yeah.
You did that.
I still really like the idea of the
People
being
just walk in and get her.
Maybe.
the bean in the jail cell as we leave. I'm fully on board with that idea.
Well, I think it needs to be like on solid ground because it's.
Yeah. I mean, like,
I could be wrong.
I mean, I'm trying to like do better in my life and not like do bad things anymore. And so, like, if I could be as least amount of destructive as possible, I think that would be good.
So you're trying to be better. You want to break this dude out of jail.
He's my best friend, so special protection.
Oh, I love this plan. There's nothing that can go wrong.
Oh, everything will go
I'm
wrong.
so gonna get thrown in jail. Whew, okay. Well,
That's what I
yeah,
think.
I mean, like I say, I'm fully on board with the plan of breaking him out of jail. Let's find out what he knows and if he's trying to get into the jail for some reason. That would be good to know, as opposed to like, we're here to save you, and he's like, I don't want to be saved. We're like,
Like, leave me.
okay, we'll join you in the jail cell because now we've been caught. That doesn't work.
Maybe you could like fly up, blow up the wall, and like float down with him and
Yeah,
run.
but that would break the wall, and we're trying not to be destructive.
Anyway, like I said, we'll plan on something. Let's get some
Done
more
with
information
plan.
first.
Yeah.
Figure out, yeah, this is basically figure out which direction you want to go on this, and what all is involved. Because I mean, you gotta time the guards. You gotta figure out what kind of security's in there. You gotta figure out what kind of locks in there. If we're trying not to destroy stuff, then there's lots of more planning. Because you gotta be quiet and stuffy. And
And as
But as
a
you-
guard, you guys do realize that you are discussing basically breaking a guy out of a police station right now. Like,
fully doable.
I mean, you can also like catch him on he's in transfer or something, but just like get in contact.
like, it's not going to be the safest place, but not impossible. Just kind of like, yeah, he's going to be guarded by the police station.
This could totally work. So yeah, let's plan on getting more information. What?
Better than like a full-on,
Well,
prison.
technically, a prison might be better.
This might be better. There's less guards. They go on
It's bigger, but-
rotations versus everybody.
I guess when how have you seen those like westerns where like there's like one prison cell and like one guy. I guess like when David's like, you guys realize this is just like a police station. That's what keeps mind. It's like, oh, no, fine.
I'm sitting there thinking like FBI headquarters, like everybody's surrounding behind him.
I mean, you guys haven't been there. You don't know what it's going to look like, but you do know that it's like the central police station of the city, the one that Garen operates out of, that commands all the other precincts in the city. Like,
That's another thing. If Garen comes after me, I'm totally out of this plan. I can't defeat myself. I just can't.
Yeah, I think the safest thing will be to get in contact.
Yeah.
Whether we
So let's talk to him, figure out exactly what's going on.
Or if we like a message with him.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be like to try to mess with Nick too.
Sure.
And if that fails, then we could
Because
take
he's
more drastic actions.
yeah. Because Nip's like not really expendable, but it's a mouse.
I love him, but we're already on number 3. So what's the
Exactly right. That's what I'm saying. So I mean, if crap hits the fan, we summon another mouse. That's the extent of the damage. Nobody knows who the mouse belongs to. They just squish a mouse, and that's it.
I'm just amused by the fact that like your familiar is the same spirit every time, but you just like treat him like a different mouse every time you resummon him.
right number
A
3?
new friend.
Love it.
How big can a familiar be?
Huh?
How big can a familiar be?
I think like a familiar, the largest size you'd get up to would be like a cat or an owl kind of thing. They're usually not very big.
Is if you need a distraction, just have like a familiar like panther.
If you're a necromancer, you can have a zombie. If you're a necromancer, you can have a zombie. Follows you around.
Yeah, that'll make you popular.
Can't a man just raise?
Yeah.
Can't a man just raise a family in peace?
Oh, that's awful.
So
I'm making more friends.
just let you guys like go fill in Sophie, and I'm gonna like do some yoga till I wake up.
Good night, Heidi.
Good night.
Good night.
That'll be interesting.
That will be glorious. I can't wait to watch that unfold.
Well,
Adventures to follow.
Prison dancer will be best.
Yeah.
So do you guys have anything else you want to do before we cut back over for a while? Or?
I mean, we could talk to Roy really quick, see if he knows any gossip about the assassination attempt.
Yeah.
Sure, let's
That
do
might
that.
not be something he's particularly privy to, just because that's a police matter. Most of what Roy hears is from like chatter that comes in, and so it only just came in from Garen. There's not really any likelihood that Roy would know anything about that.
Okay. We'll just say, for the sake of time, we just ask.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, it's
I
crazy.
can just see him like cheating Jisu out of a drink. He'd be like, "Yeah, I know some information about that. You give me a drink and I'll give it to you."
Well,
I know
told
nothing.
him- I told him I was buying him a drink,
Yeah.
so.
You already bought him a drink, and so if you go and ask him, then Roy would probably just tell you like, it's too new, not enough time for word to hit the streets about it. I'm sure there'll be discussion if you give it a little time. It's the sort of thing that is going to catch some attention.
Okay, well. If you hear anything, let me know. I'm always interested in, city gossip.
Roy's always thirsty.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's the name of the episode right there.
I thought it was that sounds familiar.
Hey, David, how close would I be to that hideout?
You're in the center of the city, and it's off in one of the wings, so you're about 13 miles or so, you'd guess.
How long would that take to travel?
It'd take you even moving quickly through the city, I would say it'd probably take you the bulk of the day to get there.
Hey, Tamati, want to check out? There's something I've been needing to check out. You want to come with?
Right now?
Now or later?
What time of the day is it anyway?
It's like
Yeah, that's a
it's
good question.
early afternoon.
Okay. It's just like Mouse just went to go do yoga until she wakes up the next morning. I'm like, that's a long time for yoga. Sure, let's go on an adventure.
Cool. I'll explain on the way. We can go back to
Okay.
Rin Zafine.
This is gonna end so badly for
I
us.
We're going to talk
takes
to
like
family
half a
and
day.
buddies, and you're like, the den of the beast.
Let's go find the underbelly. Give it a little scratch.
There could be really cool stuff or nothing, or
I'm just expecting like spending half the day walking there. By that time, it's like 10 o'clock at night, and then you spend half the night walking back.
Yeah, well, look, I'll
No.
do it later. Good.
I mean, I don't mind. We can always find an inn on that side of town too. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we
Can't stay in contact with everybody else, but you know.
Let's see. Moving through the city, you might be able to make it over to the wing in just a few hours, and with enough time to make it back.
Especially with
so-
Mati going with.
Yeah, because Tamati, like, being with you speeds up your movement.
Ooh, it's right. Double speed.
So,
Make a path.
We could
hop
go.
on top of that.
We could go in the wings. Sorry. Oh, it's too good to pass up.
honestly, there's a part of me that is considering, depending on how tonight runs, saying that since it's just you two doing that we could actually run that during In the Wings.
One shot in the wings.
Oh,
yeah!
Cool.
The rest of you could
Do it.
That'd be awesome.
Underbelly.
If that happens, I want to come on just to listen.
Right?
I mean, we'd probably do it in here just because if it's an actual game, even if it's in the Wings, I want to have like control of the music and whatnot. But all the same,
Sure,
we
yeah, that's
could
fine.
actually
Yeah.
have that just kind of be.
And we don't have to. I just kind of want to like get it done. So it's not like in the way of like.
Yeah, and it
I'm
Oh,
cool,
I just-
I'm
and
cool
that
with
would
it
give
in
me
the
a little more time to like prepare for it, because that way I'd have to wing a little less of it.
We're gonna die.
Oh,
so many
and
wing
if
jokes.
If it's Tuesday, we're not gonna have the kids this week.
That's true.
And since we're not doing a game on Thursday.
Yeah, Tuesday's
Anyway.
basically the only way we do anything. So
Weekend game.
Weekend. Anyway. So yeah, we'll plan on definitely doing that.
Sweet.
maybe we could still
It's just
swing a
gonna be
weekend game. I don't know what everybody's schedules look like, and it might be tough for us with the kids, but we'll see if we can figure anything out.
Oh, you guys have.
Sure.
Yeah, because
Like I say, I'm
we're gonna have the kids on the weekend next week because it's like a weird thing where
It
dad
is supposed to be. It is supposed to be our weekend, but
Yeah,
he's
but
not
their
taking
dad
them
is, like-
Thursday.
yeah, he's taking them
Oh,
on
okay.
Tuesday and bringing them back Thursday. Is that...
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
If this throws off the game too much, I'll have to like check the thing now. I just got.
it's fine to
I
just
think
say
it'd be
that you guys
hilarious.
head over there, and we will actually play that out on In the Wings next week. So.
So, I mean, this is turning into like a Zafine and Rin
Right?
deal. So,
Shall
you know. No, it's totally fine. It's been fun. I'm doing stuff with my one shot in the background while I'm listening, so it's been.
It's kind of the nature of the
I'm
beast.
so
it just
excited.
happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And
That's true. I mean, everybody
the-
has their limelight, and that's cool.
The stuff,
Fine
the
with it.
stuff for Mouse definitely is not the kind of thing that I expected you guys to get to tonight, just because that's complicated. Like,
Yeah.
That's really complicated, but it'll be so much fun.
anyway, let's cut back over to Rin and
Cool,
Zafine now.
All right.
We are heading over to Gavin.
Yes.
Okay.
He's
The
the
dragon.
He's the leader.
dragon blue-haired dude.
Yeah.
The blue dragon.
So, and just for those of you taking notes, Gavin is spelled Ghavin. So,
Gavin.
Yes.
Not even
Gavin
close.
like Ghana.
Yeah.
It's Ghana's Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you guys leave the tower in which you met Leomarth, and you walk over just a few streets to the tallest building in the city, the one that is nearly as tall as the southern wall. And this one,
So on the way over, even though she's right next to me, I'm gonna use message just to try and keep it between the two of us.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And I'm gonna say, so Mouse kind of wants to break that Frederick guy out of jail.
Interesting. Did she say
And that's
why?
it. How do I say this? He's her Taliesin.
Oh. Very interesting.
So we might be discussing that when we get back.
That would definitely be something good to discuss. Hopefully we get to discuss it. We have some impulsiveness in the wings.
That's it.
Okay.
And wiki walking.
I'm so excited for this.
This will be so cool.
Yeah, you guys arrive at this this building that you know Gavin lives in. You know that he lives at the very top. He lives at the highest point in all of Gate. This building is made of kind of lighter, nearly white stones that are mortared with black or dark gray mortar. A pretty sharp contrast, and
Yeah.
the building's architecture is tapered, sort of. It doesn't get totally narrow at the top, but it does narrow as it goes up, just for the sake of balance. And you go inside. There is a similar elevator with the glowing blue light in the shaft that carries you up as you step into it. When you say the top floor, and you arrive at Gavin's quarters, and there are no guards posted here, as Kadrazat said. Gavin can take care of himself. But
So, are we just making a social call to Gavin, or do we have anything that we'd like to ask him while we're visiting with him?
I mean, I just was gonna ask if Jamie's been through, but
Good.
aside from that, it's pretty social. Pretty brief,
Excellent.
usually.
Very good.
So I go and I knock.
So, any assassination attempts on your life?
Anyone
Dumb enough to try that lately?
No.
Yeah.
so you said you go knock.
Yeah.
All right. So you knock, and almost immediately as you knock, you hear a clatter of falling pots and pans. It sounds like from somewhere inside, and you hear this just sort of distant, slightly muffled, like, "Oh, just a minute." And a few moments later, the door is answered. You immediately recognize Gavin's human form. He seems to be skewing it a little bit younger than you're used to seeing it. He usually displays himself as someone maybe in their 40s or so, but this actually looks like somebody in maybe his early 20s. Hair is still bright, this bright shock of blue. It is kind of emo off to one side and completely shaved on the side that is there.
Yeah.
And He is wearing an assortment of various silver jewelry, necklaces, earrings, and like a couple of stud nose rings. And he looks at you and he immediately recognizes you both, and he says, "Ah, Rin, Zafine. Haven't seen you in one another's company previously, but it's a pleasure to see you both."
It's good to see you too, Gavin.
Yes, lovely to see you.
And he kind of gives Zafine an odd, lingering glance and says, "Something a bit different about you, dear. We have to speak about that. Come in, both of you."
Here we go.
And his quarters are like just. He is just hoarding shiny, fancy treasure everywhere.
Such a dragon.
Like, it is like wall-to-wall, like beautiful pieces of art and just incredibly, ridiculously gaudy furniture that is bedecked in gold leaf and that sort of thing.
Oh,
And there's, like, it is a very
Your
it's
puppy
a
wants
dragon's hoard, essentially. I can tell.
yeah.
We may have to stop and go take him out before we continue,
Mm.
because otherwise he will yip at us.
Yeah.
So I guess we have to pause here for a moment.
Okay.
So I will be back.
Okay.
So, just while David's walking away. That's so funny. So, there's the TV series called Leverage.
Oh yeah.
There's 2 episodes where they have a girls' night out and a guys' night out. And the girls' night out, it shows them first, and it's like they're out there like trying to run a con on some guy, and everything's going wrong. And every time they need one of the guys to be like the muscle of the group or the hacker of the group, they call him on the phone. They're like, "What do we do in this situation?" They're like, "I can't talk right now. I'm busy." I was like, well, what can you possibly be doing that's so busy? Last time we saw you were playing poker. And I was like, I'm busy, all right? Leave me alone. And anyway, so they go off, and the girls just do their thing. They eventually get the guy. And then the next episode is the guys' night. And it shows the guys are starting to play poker. And all of a sudden, like, a former cop comes in and start playing poker with them. And they're all just making jokes and cracking jokes about different things. And anyway, something happens. They all jump up and leave the table, and they start, like, chasing down these other bad dudes, and all of a sudden one of them gets a phone call. I was like, "What? No, I'm busy right now. Quit calling me." It's like, so they totally interact with each other, and that's like the whole thought that I have of this whole process is like just doing that.
That's
like,
awesome.
No, leave me alone. I'm busy. So that's why I'm like, you guys want this? I will give you this night. I will take Tuesday night. I'm 25 with that.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be hilarious.
And Heidi, if anyone does want to do a weekend game, Heidi and I are open.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
But I mean, like, yeah, if that's like hard for like.
Yeah.
So we're open.
Cool.
I'm so excited for this thing. I thought it was just gonna be like, oh, you guys went walk there. Okay, perception check.
I don't know.
Okay.
Hardcore shenanigans the entire time.
So like,
You guys
Lord.
find this placer beast. Roll for initiative.
It's gonna be glorious. I'm so excited.
Guys have become either the heroes or the destroyers of Gate all on your own.
You just imagine us like actually getting thrown in jail.
Oh man.
And then like, okay, we're gonna go find Heidi's or go find Mouse's
Right.
friend. And they walk in. We're all 3 of us are in the same jail cell. Like, don't worry about it. We got this.
You need us back at the
Oh,
end.
my
It's all part of the plan.
3M.
Oh, yes. Oh, so many.
You have no
intertwining-
idea how. You have no idea how elaborate this is.
Oh, it's gonna be great. I mean, the fact that we're giving David like another like the weekend to like figure out what to do.
Yeah.
I know. Wait till I'm like, oh.
Even if it's nothing, it's like back to the days where we did Grass the Sky and it was just us.
Yeah.
Woo! It's gonna be great.
We have to think of a theme song.
We do. Definitely.
We could just do a mystery.
Do which one?
Magical mystery tour.
Yes. We could totally do something like that. We'll have to find something.
Just Photoshop a bunch of pictures of Jesu and Tamati like laughing, smiling, screaming.
Oh man.
That way, like, you can find pictures of the Rock, and then I can like make picture faces. Photoshop like us like running from a trap.
Like, just running like haha from an explosion behind us. Like
Have like
oh man.
have like a what's it called? Not the Fibonacci Man. What's the name of the guy who's like standing like that? Did the Leonardo da Vinci painting drawing.
I don't remember.
Oh, too, I don't know. But like in that formation, it's just like flying in the background from the it's like in an X. Like it's
Fine. Okay. We're gonna be planning while you guys are doing this thing. If you can find some like points to tie in our story with their story, just keep those in mind. Because that'd be hilarious.
See a flash from the other side of gate.
Oh, that's weird.
How bizarre.
You see a lightning strike.
Black lightning. Oh no.
And a very loud roar. Oh.
Oh.
That sounded like a werebear.
Maybe we should go. Maybe we should go.
Maybe we should
Maybe we should
stay.
Not associated with you.
And thus was the end of the Emerald.
Roll credits.
Oh man.
Yeah.
As the floater moves behind us, you can see a rope like giant. The end.
Level 1.
Jeez.
Okay.
Okay, back in.
All right. So you guys have entered Gavin's place, and there are these like human-sized hallways, but as you pass further in, you can see that he has a couple of rooms to live in that are sized more for him to actually be able to lounge around at full dragon size in. And he passes by a cabinet and that is full of very expensive looking liquor, and he says, "If you would care for a drink, it's a bit early in the day for you, I suppose, but well."
I'll take one.
I'm always up for a sample of something new and exciting. Just a sample.
Excellent. And he takes a couple of bottles out of the cabinet and begins mixing some kind of drink, and as he is doing so, he says, "So what brings you here?"
Well, I thought you can assume what I'm going to ask you.
I suppose I can. I'm afraid I haven't seen Jamie either. My apologies.
No,
But for myself, I miss our talks. He's a fascinating fellow.
yeah. We've just come from my uncle's house. Apparently, he's an acquaintance of yours. Leonmarth Devanara.
You're... Oh, should have made the connection.
He might have some...
What was that?
He might have some words for you.
Oh, I can't imagine there'll be any words I've never heard before, but... Like he finishes the drink that he's been mixing and hands you both this this light blue liquid,
Mhm.
and he says, "This one was actually inspired by you, Zafine."
Ooh.
No.
I hope it's good. I've invented it at this very moment.
Ah, well, nothing newer than just invented.
I will take a sip.
Yes, I slowly sip and savor this new experience.
Shotgun.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very good. It's very light, almost fruity and airy in a way that is fitting.
Yeah.
But he kind of looks at both of you with like, ah?
Yeah. Mm.
It's good. What do you think you'll call it?
So, well, I'll have to think about that.
I know a Goliath who would love to know the recipe. I'd like him to know the recipe too.
Says, well, I may make a few tweaks yet, but I'll be sure that the recipe gets your way.
That would be lovely. I made a little invention of my own on our recent excursions together. I'll have to give you that recipe, maybe demonstrate. It's a lovely new cake that's very rich.
Mm. That's cake.
That sounds wonderful. So, Zafine, you... Well, perhaps this is not the place. Come with me. And he beckons you both to follow him and walks, kind of winding through a couple of corridors until he reaches a staircase and leads you up on top of the building.
Ooh.
To the open sky above. On either side you can see the looming mountains, and there's kind of a wind up here, but the walls of the top of the roof are built in just such a way that it ends up feeling more like a gentle breeze than anything.
Cool.
And there's lounge furniture and that sort of thing. There's and
We're not just on the precipice of this little...
yeah, no, it's it's a comfortable place.
Okay.
And he walks out to the center of it, and with a flash, he transforms into his full dragon form, which is just shy of maybe 90 feet long from tip to tail, and just an incredibly massive creature with blue scales and these intelligent golden eyes. He has an almost rhino-like jagged horn at the tip of his nose, and he kind of curls up almost with cat-like motions and grins at you in the least intimidating way a dragon can.
You know, that is never not awe-inspiring, Gavin.
I love that.
Oh, you flatter me. Do go on, please.
I'm trying to differentiate their voices for this very reason.
Right.
But yeah, then he says,
This seems a more appropriate place to ask this question. Zafine, something has changed about you. There is something unfamiliar.
Well, it's an interesting question. Things have changed for me recently. I'm curious as to which you might be picking up on. I suspect it may be the breath trance I'm sharing with my recently reunited uncle.
Well, it is possible that that is a part of it, yes, but... There's something altered within you yourself, however. There is an energy that is unfamiliar to me. One that you have not borne it. Almost as if you have perhaps embraced a piece of your heritage that had been held back before.
Could be.
Hmm.
That is very interesting to hear your observations and evaluations of that, Gavin. It's not something I've fully been conscious of, it seems, but I could see that. Perhaps. I have recently had my attention drawn very strongly back to my heritage, from immediate to further. Interesting ways.
He looks at you intently and says,
When you have spoken of your parents, you've mentioned a kind of freedom to their spirits, something open, wild. And to me, you have always seemed very deliberately controlled. It seems perhaps almost that there is an openness within you, that perhaps a change of direction.
Yes, I have definitely, decidedly taking a different course than I have before. I've become very committed to my new comrades and the positive impact and the tipping point that we may serve as to preserve what we all have.
Perhaps that is what I am seeing. There is... Perhaps the things that an old dragon sees are unusual. We see echoes in the world that may not be immediately apparent to those younger. There's a piece of that I see within you. There are infinite complexities to the world that none of us will ever see. I'm 1,397 years old. To the best of my knowledge, there are not a great many creatures older living anywhere on Tyrileth, even among dragons. And the children of Io are as close to undying as any in the world. In my time, I have seen things well beyond your imagination. I fought in the Abolition War, defending this city. Saw the frenzy approaching in such numbers, it seemed as if the earth itself crawled out to the very horizon. I was in Kaidan in 4047. I witnessed the arrival of the Starwalkers. Saw the trails of fire that followed them as they fell from the sky. I saw the sky turn white at midnight 30 years ago. And I've seen friends fall and die. Sometimes from a distance, too far to come to their aid, too close to keep from hearing the pain and fear in their voices. Other times, as I held them, watched their eyes turn from clear and alive to still and glassy and cold. But in all my years, I have seen only the tiniest portion of what this natural world has to show, much less the wonders of the plains beyond it. My kind are arrogant. We are mighty, and that knowledge is always present at the front of our minds, standing in front of all logic. Defiant of all else, we never stop growing, you know. I think on some level, some of my kind believe that if they lived long enough, they could swallow worlds. So when I say all I have seen and learned in my life is scarcely more than an infant's first half-formed thoughts against the scale of all that is, you can be assured that I mean that, because there is a piece of me that was born to sincerely believe that I am the single most important and glorious creature that has ever lived. Which is true, and utter nonsense, of course. But across these many years, I have seen patterns. Not in the sense that history repeats itself. That's just mortal nature. We must make the same mistakes 100 times before we learn, but rather I've seen patterns in the world. The continents are shaped like the smallest stones. The forests shaped like their leaves. The more closely you examine an object or a structure, the more you will find it to be shaped like itself. Not shaped. All things on all levels are echoes of themselves. Too many in the world have tried to view it as my kind do. Get big enough and strong enough, and at last you can fit it all within your mouth or within your mind. Expand, try to follow the tendrils outward, see where they might lead you, where they end. And perhaps that will teach them much, but I think perhaps it may be more useful to seek the beginning, back to the source, if you will.
And he raises his mighty head to the sky, opens his mouth, and with a sudden crack of almost deafening thunder, he lets off this incredible bolt of lightning up into the sky.
Ooh.
So bright, it almost hurts your eyes to watch it, and there's this web in your vision, that an after image of this flash of lightning. You feel even the pressure wave just kind of blow the air past you from the sudden burst of lightning. And you see this after image of a long, wide beam that branches out into hundreds and thousands of smaller branches. And he looks back down at you and says,
In my lightning, there is perhaps a small element of this. The branches, the shapes, the echoes. They repeat themselves. They are echoes of the center, echoes of what they are rooted in. And I think that perhaps is a bit of what I begin to see in you. There are echoes within you of your heritage, echoes within you of all that is, echoes of larger shapes as well as smaller ones within you that perhaps you have not yet recognized. And I sense an urgency within you. I sense a desire to find these complexities, to shape them as well as to keep them. Perhaps that is some of what has changed within you.
Side note, guys, it sounds super weird without the voice changer.
Comes through beautifully. Zafine just kind of thinks about it, just kind of reflects on what he's saying, searching for that within herself.
And he just kind of watches you in silence for a few moments, and he says,
I believe there may be something within you unlike anything Tyrileth has yet seen. Something new. Perhaps you may be one of the few capable of seeking the source, following the ley lines, following every branch, following your way back to where it begins. I wonder what you might find there.
Where it begins. Where everything begins?
Perhaps. Magic, certainly. Matter, perhaps. Even I am not so old as to recall the beginning. Perhaps there are lines you might follow. I would be interested to hear what you find if you explore these things.
How would I follow a ley line? I have very minimal magic experience.
Perhaps following a ley line is too literal a term, but ley lines not only web across this world, hold it together and link every corner, they also web throughout each of us. They root us to this place that is our home. Perhaps outward is not the place to look, but inward. Perhaps there may be something within you that is a hint, at the very least, a discovery of sorts, perhaps.
Like the tree. Do you remember?
The tree that you went in?
Yeah. Maybe you have something like that too.
Perhaps. Thank you, Gavin. You have given me great food for pondering and exploring. Thank you.
Nods his huge head.
I wish you the best of luck with your meditations.
Do I see any wood around?
There is a small, like a small planter that has a tree that has been growing up here. It's kind of an ornamental tree, but
Does it look like I would fit in it?
probably, yeah.
I say, Gavin, look what I learned! And I go over and I use wood sanctuary, and I go into the tree.
And he kind of tilts his head, and echoing from outside the tree, you hear his voice.
Oh, now that is fascinating. And very unusual, given the course that I have known you to follow. This would not appear to be magic granted by your mistress.
I poke my head out and go, turns out I'm part dryad.
That's awesome.
Fascinating. You know, I had sensed a connection to nature within you, but had not pinned it down to such a heritage.
I know, me neither.
It will be interesting to see what this means for you. Please return and keep me posted.
I will.
Gavin, would it be a terrible disturbance or trouble if I were to practice some of my meditations here during our visit for a bit? This is such a... This place, being up so close to the sky, I haven't been up this high for so long. I feel it could be helpful.
He nods and says,
Of course, Ziffy. You're always welcome here. If you wish to stay here, then you are free to do so.
Thank you. I move over kind of towards one of the edges where I can see farther without having as much of the building in my line of sight. And then I close my eyes and I slowly begin moving my arms and shifting through these meditative forms. And instead of just moving, I think about what Gavin said about the webs connecting through people, and I try to feel them as I move, just testing to see what I can feel as I go through my meditation.
okay. Make a dexterity check.
Right.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness, I got a natural 20. So,
What?
yeah.
Awesome.
So that's 23.
Whoa.
So you, in the course of your forms, you reach out and you swear you can almost sense something in the air. It's clearer up here somehow, like the noise down below and the distance from the sky perhaps hid this from you, but now you can almost sense something. You feel on some level like your finger brushes against something. Like there's a small warmth, a jolt of electricity that just kind of sends tingles down your fingers. And as you feel it, you kind of try to touch it again. Continuing with your forms, making these incredibly minute motions with your fingers that you weren't even entirely aware that you could make. You feel like you're grasping the line, like you've taken hold of it. You can feel the flow. And without entirely thinking about it, you twist. And the entire universe around you, all of the lights that you can see, just seem to go into hyperspace. There's this rush of motion and flashing energy and a sense that you have stayed in the same place and also traveled a great distance. You're standing on top of another tall building somewhere. You don't recognize the city, but the edges of your vision are blurry and kind of fuzzy, and there's a faint sense of motion around the edges of your vision. And standing before you, looking out over this cityscape, you see the shapes of your mother and father leaning into each other, gazing out over the horizon. And your mother kind of lifts her head from your father's shoulder and kind of looks around, looking up before finally turning back, looking you directly in the eyes and smiling. And just still with her hand on your father's shoulder, she just gives like a little two-fingered wave. And with that, you rush back into your body, back in gate.
Oh.
Oh, yep. That's new.
While she's
Welcome to the Vision Quest team.
while she's
You stumble just a little bit
Yeah.
from the return, and Gavin looks over at you with some concern.
Zafine, are you all right?
Check myself. I think so. But, I think I felt it. I found what you were talking about, and I did something. I'm not entirely sure what, but I saw my parents. I don't know where they were. They're in a building very similar to this, but I'm not sure what city it was. It's one I've never seen before. And my mother, she looked at me and waved. And then I was back here. I don't think I actually went anywhere, but she seemed to recognize me. I don't know what just happened, but yeah.
And he gives you a long, scrutinizing look and says,
Perhaps you have found a beginning. A source.
I see. I may have to... I need to learn more about these sources and beginnings. Thank you, Gavin, for helping me to see that opportunity within me.
Of course.
and, well, we ordinarily are not going to do this out of order. You grow to level 7.
Yay!
What?
Your first tap into the source is
The source!
Oh.
sometimes usually you guys will all level up at once, but sometimes if it is story appropriate, I will give you an individual level somewhere. It makes sense. Like, Tamati is probably very close to the same thing, if you take Cleric as your next level at least, otherwise you've got to wait longer. But,
I was going to talk to you about that, actually.
yeah, but, yeah.
Oh man.
Wow.
Woo!
That's exciting.
I hope it doesn't show too much how much of his speech was improv there, because I had about half of it prepared, and then
Oh, yeah?
half of it I just was kind of making up as I went along. So
No, that was awesome. Totally.
Wow.
Fantastic. High five! Oh, wait. I got that.
Wow. Okay.
So, tech question with the PDF.
Yes.
Do I just put it in favored soul for the sorceress origin?
I'm not sure exactly how to do it, because we will have to
It'll be kind of,
manually,
yeah.
like, I don't have the programming skills to write the
Oh, yeah.
the script
Yeah.
for it, but I will try to figure out if I can maybe just sort of hack it in and send you a version with that. Like, I don't know. It's not. We may not be able to get it to automatically update as we do it, because
That's fine. That's fine. Totally cool. We can just yeah, we can just do it manually. That's totally cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so you
Awesome.
have one level now in the fractal origins sorcerer. Sorry.
Ooh.
Yay!
Fractal origins. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's so cool.
Yeah.
This is the
Awesome.
homebrew subclass I've cooked up for.
Yeah.
So,
That's way cool. Way cool.
Woohoo!
Now you know what it's like to be a werewolf.
Yay!
And magically, you're amazing.
Yay!
yeah,
My
like
mind just exploded.
leveling you guys up out of order is something I generally want to avoid, but there will be times when just the story makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, totally.
Gavin's insight here, kind of pointing out what was already within you that you might not quite have caught on your own, is probably a good place to give you that start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that was good. That was so cool. Awesome.
Awesome. Sorry.
You're fine.
19.
Yeah, if you guys want to, that's probably a solid place to stop for the night.
Yeah, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
I
Dig
think
it.
there's much more to speak to Gavin about right now.
My work life appreciates that comment.
I think I have a couple more
Quick
questions before we leave, but they're fine to pick up next
Sure,
time.
yeah.
You can do them now, or we can wait. Either way.
I'm not either.
While she was in her trance, I just kind of wanted to be showing Gavin, like, look what else I learned, and check this out.
I just imagine Gavin being like a chameleon, one eye watching Zafina, one eye watching Ring. Just go.
Come on.
Showing him stuff like, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just was gonna say I was gonna show him stuff like my Heart of Ebony and my my ability to merge with Loki.
Yeah.
And just that kind of stuff that I could do like really easy that I can get back when I sleep.
Yeah, you like for each feat that you perform, you get like the dragon equivalent of a golf clap. So.
Like, Grandpa Dragon, look at this!
Yeah, he's like
Clicking his claws together. Tap, 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 tap.
like, he is genuinely interested, but he also does not want to disturb Zafine's
Sure.
meditations, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I'm pretty understanding.
Yeah. But I would say that probably you were meditating for around an hour before you kind of caught the...
Cool. The source.
Yes.
Cool.
Sorry.
So after we kind of round all that off, I would like to ask Zerfall. Not.
Zerfall.
Nope. My brain has been going there this whole conversation. I tripped up.
Yeah, I've been trying to separate.
That's two that Zerafall's pulled to his side. No!
Yeah, I've been trying to separate their voices enough that it isn't like...
Well, and I want to ask Gavin about Zerafall. So that's part of the why is a natural Freudian slip.
Okay. Yeah, he let's see, I'm trying to think if he would actually know much about this.
He was just bragging about how old he is.
Yeah.
He's not that old.
Yeah.
He's old, but he's not so old that he would have, been around at the time that Zerafal and the other catastrophic dragons were locked away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the book I found is 30,000
Yeah.
years old. So
Yeah, that was a 30,000-year-old book that spoke about the catastrophic dragons in very ancient terms, like this happened long ago
Right.
at that time kind of thing. And Gavin is 1,397.
Yeah.
He's
But
not
he's a
been
dragon.
around that long. Well, maybe I will just roll a history check for him and see if he has any idea. He rolled pretty well, so he might kind of have an idea. Let's see. As he's thinking about it, he transforms back into his human form and leads you back down into his quarters. And well, there is something of that nature that I faintly seem to recall having read or perhaps having been told. But it is not something with which I am intimately familiar. Yes. Early on, there was a legend that perhaps some of the dragons may have been changed by meddling from the gods. But the beginnings of Tyrileth are shrouded in mystery and so far distant that it is impossible for us to even know the age of our world, much less how long ago such things may have happened and what happened at those times. If you seek knowledge on this subject, you may perhaps be better off seeking temples to Bahamut, but not just any, the oldest temples in Keras Draconin. Perhaps there you would find more information than I can offer.
Well, that is good information.
That's more information.
Yeah, we wouldn't have known to look there without your suggestion, so thank you.
Where would Keras Draconin be?
Keras Draconin is one of the other continents.
Okay.
Also, have you heard of, or perhaps even had dealings with, the Aegis, Gavin?
Ooh, good question.
He thinks about it. He says, I have heard the name. I have reason to suspect that they have been involved with dark dealings throughout my life, perhaps further beyond backwards. I am not certain I have had direct dealings. I've spent almost half of my life here in Gate. I have certainly taken my leave from time to time to go visit other locations and seek out new information. I seem to recall some sort of trouble in Cheyenne Alai around 100 years ago. The name of the Aegis was whispered there. Some group of adventurers managed to stop something that they were getting into, called themselves Sunhet. can't remember their names. Haven't personally met them. Most of them didn't make it out alive, though. Afraid if I could give you more information on their names or locations, I would. But I know only that they halted some sort of plot on the part of the Aegis. There was some evil they prevented, something that hear only whispers, and
Well, allow me to give you more than a whisper. We have been dealing with the Aegis in large part of our
I
adventure.
pull out the seal from one of my pockets, like in my belt. Or...
and he examines the seal. It is worrisome that I feel that I've seen this seal before. Numerous times throughout my life. Pieces of art carved into buildings. Perhaps the Aegis has greater and more widespread influence than I would have believed based on the small bits and pieces that I've heard about them.
And we were trying to prevent them from releasing Zarafal. But we believe that he has been released, and that one of our companions has been bound to him.
Troublesome indeed. Very ancient dragons, and I will excuse myself from the warnings I'm about to offer you, although I am certainly a very ancient dragon. Very old dragons are universally dangerous. Gods know I'm dangerous as well if I need to be, but... Dragons play games. And for many, kindred are pieces on a board to them. And if you have indeed inadvertently unleashed a dragon nearly as old as the world itself, then his power would be immense, and his cunning would be informed by a lifetime, hundreds, perhaps thousands of times greater than even the oldest of my brethren have been known to live. The machinations would be quiet in the darkness, very difficult to see. He would be trying to stay at least a dozen steps ahead of you at all times. But if he has been sealed for a time, as you say, there may be an opening, period of weakness during which he must recoup his abilities. Especially because seals of that nature are never simple It is possible that you may have only undone the first lock on the door holding him back, perhaps allowed a greater amount of his influence into the world. And there may be time during which he is seeking out ways to undo the other locks. Perhaps yet have a chance to catch him before he has the chance to return to his full capacity. This is speculation.
It's
Seems
very
powerful
encouraging.
enough to hold back a being as ancient as a dragon from the dawn of this world. Have to be mighty indeed, and their power would not be so simple as to dissipate into the atmosphere with no fanfare.
Well, that's encouraging that it probably has more than just one seal. Sense. Someone so powerful and ancient. Interesting. Very interesting.
If you find yourself traveling abroad to Karis Draconin, I would suggest that you seek out perhaps the most ancient temple, which is the Temple of Bahamut in Imtiaz. Imtiaz is an ancient city in the far north of Karis Draconin. Perhaps there will be answers for you there.
Good. Thank you. Good. I think that's all I wanted to ask him about.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Good place.
I did want to do something with some mash really quick, but it's too late. I just wanted to make. He's spending his time making some ice bullets. So I'll message you. Here's the info about the fireballs, which is also for the.
Yeah, just make your Tinker's Tools check.
Oh, and I'll use the thing so it gets advantage. So that is. Oh, so 18. 26.
Nice. So let's see. I believe you.
It's intelligence, not dex. So.
Yes, and yeah, I believe you get half the result, so you get
13.
yeah. I'm trying to figure out how you got there, how you got to that high of a check with intelligence.
Do I roll and then add my Tinker Tool check?
Yes, but you subtract your dex from it and then add your intelligence to that. It's.
Oh, I didn't even add dex. I just rolled the d20 and added the +8 Tinker's Tool.
Yeah, but like your Tinker Tools on the skills list already have.
Oh, I get it. So, okay, so it should be. 22?
22 if you rolled an 18, yeah. Well, you should also get proficiency. I must have just done some of the math wrong on what I originally sent you. So your proficiency is currently +3, I think.
Plus 3.
25. We'll round down. So you get 12 ice bullets out of that.
Cool. And minus 100.
And we will.
And since he's in a big...
Go ahead.
I'll tell you after.
You can go ahead. It's.
I was just going to say that he goes and asks Kadrazak, like, where he can enchant weapons in the city.
Okay, and Kadrasat says, well, depending on the sort of enchanting you're looking at, I may be able to help you with that myself.
Yes.
Basically, I just want... He pulls out the pepper box and mentions he just wants to like make it do like +1 magic damage.
So that would be reasonable. It would take me some time to work on the weapon, however. Likely.
And then we can figure out later
likely,
how much that would cost him.
Likely 2 weeks at the very least, during which time I would have to hold on to the weapon to enchant it.
And how much? Any idea?
I'm not sure on cost yet. I'll have to figure
Okay, cool.
that out.
Sweet. Cool. Sounds good.
And we will close it up for the night there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Awesome, spectacular.
Yay!
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Send Craig
Golf
away.
clap.
Bye, Craig.
Bye, Craig.
Bye, Craig.
As